Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to Trials and Tribulation. Probably the last stream of the Ace Attorney trilogy. What a wild ride it's been. I really did not expect to be playing through the entire trilogy so close together. I was gonna give them all time to breathe, but I just couldn't. I just couldn't stay away because Ace Attorney has turned out to be one of my favorite series of all time. It's just so fun. Right now, it's not very fun. It's kind of stressful, but usually it's very fun, and I love all the prosecutors and the banter you have. It's just wonderful, and I can't wait to play the other games with you guys. But we are going to be taking a break after the trilogy, probably until Investigations is released. We'll do Investigations, we'll take another break, and then we'll do Apollo and Great Ace Attorney. We'll probably do those pretty close together. But after Investigations, we're going to do a big break. To, refresh. But yes, this is the last part of Trials and Tribulation, we think. If I have time, I'll be doing Wukong later, so that'll be fun. But yeah, so, a lot happened last stream. So much so, I can't really recap it too much. Main points? Well, Maya might be dead. There's still a few mysteries left unsolved, like, who was channeling Dahlia's spirit. Could have been Maya, but we don't know who else. Maya's the only real candidate for that, but I don't know what that means. There's a whole thing going on with Godot. There's a lot happening, okay? So we're just gonna hop right in and see where we end up on this wild ride, alright? I'm sorry for kind of flooding the channel with Ace Attorney, but you know what? I'm not sorry, actually. I'm a lawyer now. Certified. Definitely. Alright, I've got some water. Because my throat's a bit sore today.
Good morning. Oh, are you by yourself, Mr. Nick?
Morning, Pearls. Oh, this is too real. It's 1 o'clock here, but I feel like I just woke up.
Mr. Nick, please tell me what's gonna happen to Mystic Maya.
That's what Laser just DM'd me just before I was literally about to press start stream and you DM'd me like what's gonna happen to Maya? I'm sorry. We don't know yet. The investigation's still going on, so I wasn't allowed to into the inner temple. The inner temple.
Oh, I see. So is Sister Iris still trying to remove those trick locks in the training hall?
No, she's the defendant in this case, so she can't be at the inner temple. She's required to be in hearing court.
Then how come she's not here in the defendant's lobby?
I have to admit, it is kind of strange. If you're looking for Iris, she's in the prosecutor's lobby. Oh. Edgeworth! Edgy! What's Iris doing over there? She's going over today's testimony with the prosecutor as we speak. Today's testimony? You heard me. Iris is going to be testifying as a witness for the prosecution. Wait, what? The prosecutor is squeezing her for a confession, or so I heard. Francesca Von Karma, what are you up to? I thought Von Karma got kicked off the case. I think it's Godot now, right? Unless he's heading the investigation? I don't know. I know what you're thinking, but Francesca isn't going to be the prosecutor today. Well, there you go. What? Then who is? What are you, daft? Haven't you been paying attention? It's going to be Pain. Who else would it be but Godot? Godot. Nope. Francesca is engaged in some important work at the Sacred Cavern.
The Sacred Cavern? You don't mean that she's...
Exactly. She's been out there all night trying to remove those trick locks. The head nun's assistance, naturally. We estimate that the last of the locks should be taken care of in about 3 hours. So we gotta hold out for 3 hours? Is that in real time, too? Ugh. Yeah, we are 3-0 with Godot, that's true. Ugh, that's some good water. Ice cold. Oh, sorry, did I not read that one? Well, fuck you too, right? Yeah, thanks, Edgeworth, whatever. Prosecutor Godot intends to nail this case shut today. We prepare to fight like there's no tomorrow. You don't have to tell me that. Touche. I can already see it in your eyes. You're not the same fever-ridden, frantic maniac you were yesterday. It's strange. On the way here, I decided that today would be the end of all of this. Almost immediately after I made that decision, I felt like I was getting stronger. Interesting. How are your balls today, Wright? Are they, plump? Filled with, succulent man nectar? Maybe you've passed your cold on to someone else, literally. And with that, I leave the rest in your capable hands, partner. Thanks! He called me partner! I still don't have answers for most of the riddles plaguing this case. The circumstances around the murder of Miss Elise Donham. No, I mean Miss Misty Fey. The impossible flight Larry claims to have seen. And what that woman is really after. I'll solve them all and bring this whole tragedy to an end. Yippee! You go and do it, Mr. Wright! Oh, this is the first time we haven't had, like, a bench partner in a while. Obviously, we didn't have one as Edgeworth, but Maya's gone, man. Fuck! And we have the regular judge, too. Wow.
Court is now in session for the trial of Iris of Hazakura Temple.
Your Honor, what are you...
Who, me? Well, my little brother came to visit me in my chambers earlier this morning.
Is that other judge actually his brother?
All of a sudden, in a blink of an eye, he developed a scorching fever and fainted.
Okay. So Phoenix passed on his cold to the judge's brother?
Therefore, I'll be standing in for him.
I see, Your Honor. So they're brothers. That explains a lot. Bend over? No, that's a different case.
My poor brother. He looked a bit pale, not to mention sad that he couldn't be here.
His little brother is old enough to live on his own. He can live in Canada.
It's impossible to predict what the future has in store for any of us. This is precisely why people feel the need to judge the past. And we have a court, and we have the... God damn it.
I'm already fucking up my lines.
And we of the court have been charged with the solemn duty of passing such judgment.
Sorry, I'm warming up, okay? My eyes aren't working very good.
Well said, Mr. Godot. All of that stuttering and blabbering really did you some good. And by that I mean I didn't understand a word. I understood exactly what you said, at least up until the end anyway. Now then, Mr. Godot, please proceed with your opening statement.
Humans are fragile, fickle beings. Our heart change with the shiftings of the tide. There's only one thing that remains a constant in this crazy world. The bitter darkness that lies at the bottom of this mug.
So then you mean... Forget it. What do you mean?
During yesterday's trial, the accused refused to admit her role in the crime. But today, she's had a change of heart. Sister Iris of the Hazakura Temple has a confession to make.
Confession? The defendant?
Iris, why didn't she discuss this with me first?
Very well. This court will now hear the defendant's confession.
Upon meeting a beautiful lady, I always ask for her name and profession. That's one of my rules.
My name is Iris. I'm a simple nun undergoing training at Hazakura Temple.
Witness, is there something that you want to confess to? Did you steal a cookie from the cookie jar?
No! Yes, I did. It was chocolate chip and raisins. But first I want to apologize to Mr. Wright. I can't continue lying to everyone anymore.
It's alright. What is it?
Mr. Wright, I have to admit that I did play a part in that terrible incident.
Are you actually confessing? Oh, shit, I was joking. There's no cookie jar. What do you... That was a joke. Okay. What are you confessing to? Are you saying that you were the one that stole the cookie from the cookie jar? Sorry. Different case. That's with the CM. The one who murdered Miss Elise Donham.
No, I'm not, Your Honor. But I dealt with the cover-up. After the murder took place, after her spirit left, I took the lifeless shell of Mystic Elise.
After her spirit left, I took the lifeless shell of... Oh.
And carried it to the Hazakura Temple courtyard, where I desecrated it.
What?
I took that as she, like, went into her body with spiritual power. I don't know, something about calling it a shallow husk or something, I don't know. I don't know. I need a fucking... I need my frontal lobe bitten off.
Order! Order in the court! Witness, are you saying you were an accomplice to the murder?
Yes, that's correct.
What? 3 minutes in court and I'm already covered in a cold sweat. Ha! Everyone on the planet is an accomplice to something. It just happens to be in that case, it's to murder. Isn't that right, Mr. Trent? Ugh, that Godot. So this is the confession they were conferring about. It pains me to say this, but it looks like Iris's testimony was all a lie. Iris's testimony crumpled up and shoved into pocket. You really have to say it like that? Now then, little lady, if you don't mind, I've got a question for you. Whose crime were you trying to cover up by your actions? Iris was covering for someone? Oh, now I'm definitely up the creek without a paddle. Or a life jacket.
I've been at Hazakura Temple since I was a little girl. Hazakura Temple is run by one of the branch families of Korean tradition. One of our missions is to protect the main family.
I'm sorry, but, main family?
Yes, and that's why I would dirty myself, if need be, to protect her. I would be your solemn whore. The daughter of the master of the Korean channeling technique, Misty Maya Fey.
You're accusing Maya of killing? Sorry to tell you, but Maya doesn't kill. Listen, we know Maya, okay? She's been in this situation before. She doesn't kill people. Huh? We'll go and smell the coffee, Trot. She's naming Maya?
Order in the court! So not only did you witness the murder, you know the name of the murderer.
Any ideas? I don't think it's Maya, for one. It can't be Maya. So I'm guessing Maya is... I think we were right in assuming that Maya did summon the spirit of... I think Maya summoned the spirit of Dahlia because she found the message that Morgan Fay had sent. Wait, no, but that would make sense. Why would she do that? That she knew, right? Because she probably talked to Dahlia. She was helping cover up. Interesting.
I'm terribly sorry, but it's true. I saw her commit the crime with my very own eyes. And then I cleaned up the area to try and protect her.
Objection! This is ridiculous! That's what he said. That's what he said. I said that before he even said ridiculous. Canon event?
The defense will refrain from commenting until the appropriate time. Now, witness, let's hear your testimony. What exactly happened on the night of the crime?
Time to poke holes into this testimony. This bullshit. Maya ain't no murderer, goddammit. I thought I was prepared for the unexpected. I never imagined the case would wind up going in this direction. I went to the inner temple that night and I saw it all happen in the garden.
I saw Mystic Elise strike Mystic Maya with her staff. While Mystic Maya was still stumbling, Mystic Elise moved in to deliver a fatal strike. Mystic Maya tried desperately to defend herself and stole the weapon. It was only in self-defense. You can't blame her for it.
Oh God, that's also So, okay. Did Elise have Dahlia in her then instead? Because I'm pretty sure our initial theory was that Elise, or sorry, Misty Faye, she was the one who found the letter initially. Because that would make sense why she arrived to the Hazakura Temple in the first place, to protect her family. But that doesn't make sense why then she would channel Dahlia. Because I don't think she would ever attack Maya. Even in all that exile, I don't think she would do that. Or at least I don't want to believe that she would do that. Because I feel like she loved Maya and Mia. Unless she blamed Maya for Mia's death, I don't... Maybe. The only way we're going to find out is if we keep going. Yes, she would also need to know what she looked like. But remember, the letter had a picture of Dahlia. The letter had a picture with Dahlia in it. We can see this by, this opened once before. So somebody did open it before Pearl.
So it was in self-defense.
Yes, Mystic Elise was the one who attacked first. That's why I tried my best to protect Mystic Maya.
The victim's brought her to the temple so that Maya wouldn't be suspected. Isn't that right? Not bad. You've got the instincts of a true criminal.
Jesus, Godot. Yeah, I know. It's odd. It's odd. We don't know yet. We're gonna have to, find out. There's some motives we don't have yet. Something's not quite right. I'm sure it was established yesterday that Iris never went to the inner temple that night. And that the person who did was that woman. Iris even admitted it.
Now then, Mr. Wright, please proceed with your cross-examination.
Can I just do that? Can I just get an objection right off the bat? Wait, no, we threw away your testimony. Oh wait, Pearl was supposed to be there as well. Just trying to get one right off the bat. Pearl was supposedly in the garden the whole time, right? Did my headphones just fuck up again? I don't know. Okay. Sister Iris, your testimony has changed quite a bit since yesterday. You stated yesterday that on the night of the murder, you didn't go to the inner temple.
Objection!
Did she now? Too bad for you. What she said yesterday doesn't mean much today. By the way, where were you when she claimed that she didn't go? It was in the inner temple's training hall. A private conversation between the two of you does not constitute testimony. That would probably be described as hearsay.
What do you have to say, witness?
I just couldn't tell him the truth at that time. Mystic Maya, she's your girlfriend, isn't she? I didn't want to be the one to break it to you that I saw her commit the murder.
There. We all understand how difficult this is for you. Now then, let's continue with the testimony.
Okay, well, that's probably not confirmed, but...
Well, Your Honor.
Phoenix didn't deny it. You're saying that the victim attacked Maya? I mean, Miss Faye?
Yes, it was a truly frightening scene. Mystic Maya was struck hard on the head and looked like she was going to collapse.
What were you doing at that time? Why didn't you stop them from fighting?
I'm terribly sorry, Mr. Wright. I was frightened. I couldn't move. I couldn't even speak. I was in so much shock.
That's perfectly understandable, my dear.
He's treating her exactly like he treated Dahlia in the past. This doesn't sound right. I don't believe this testimony for a minute.
What happened after that?
She moved in to deliver a fatal strike?
Yes, I'm sure of it. She threw down her staff and reached into her robe for a weapon.
Wait a minute. What was this weapon?
It was some kind of dagger.
A dagger, huh? And Elise Donham tried to stab her with this weapon? To kill Miss Faye?
Yes, exactly.
Huh. You look like I did after I mistakenly took a swig of Worcestershire sauce. Do you have a problem with the testimony we're hearing from our client, lawyer boy? Yes I do, actually. Do I have a problem with Iris's testimony? There is one thing. Your Honor, I have a small problem with the witness's testimony.
You do? But this witness is your own client.
Yes, well, nevertheless. That's fine. Witness, let's add that last part of the statement to your testimony.
Yes, sir.
Hey, just a moment. It's my job to say that. You can't say that.
Listen, Gramps, I won't say it again. Prosecution overrules you, bitch. Final judgment will be rendered by me. I'd like to see one of the judges actually have a backbone and kick out one of the prosecutors for getting over their head like that. Like, completely. Just like, you're off the fuck. Because if you actually spoke to a judge like that, you would be contempt of court instantly. And you're gone. They'd just get a new prosecutor. Like, this is not okay, man. Did she now? Yes, exactly, Laser. I mean, pretty obvious here. Sister Iris, there's something strange about your version of the events.
Huh?
Miss Dunham throwing her staff away makes no sense at all to me.
But all you can do with a staff is hit someone.
Not this staff! Naturally, you wouldn't know this, Sister Iris, but the victim's staff had a special feature about it. As you can see, it's a sword.
Ah!
If Elise Donham really had wanted to kill Maya Faye, she wouldn't have needed to use a separate dagger. Not when she already had a beautiful blade in her hands already. Well, Sister Iris, what do you have to say? Right, you may as well stick that sword right far up your ass. That was an impressive bit of investigating, Trey. I never would have thought there was a sword hidden in that staff. But even so, how should I put this? A long sword is unwieldy and thus quite ineffective in close quarters combat. Maybe that's why she chose a dagger over a blade. Oh, well. Anyway, the type of weapon she chose to use isn't what's important. The important thing is that she tried to kill Maya Fey. As long as there's nothing strange about that, there's no problem with her testimony. But there is something strange about this whole testimony.
Well, Mr. Wright, the prosecution has a point. And, well, unlike that little sword you pulled out, you do not have a point.
Very well, Your Honor. The defense will now present evidence to back its argument. We will? Mr. Wright, where are you going with this? Alright, my faithful companion, grab out the information we need. The gravy?
Mr. Wright?
I have here another piece of evidence that shows this testimony can't be trusted. Miss Elise Donham would never attempt to take the life of Maya Fey. Did we show her? Elise Donham would never have attacked Maya Fey.
How can you be so sure?
Because the victim's real name was not Elise Donham. Her real name was Misty Fey.
Fey?
No! Not Misty Fey!
Who is this Misty Fey? Is she related to...
Misty Fey is the master of the Curane channeling technique. She's also the mother of Maya Fey.
Are you serious?
Is it really true, Mr. Wright? Was Elise Donham actually the great mystic Misty?
There's no doubt about it. Looks like Iris had no idea.
I can hardly believe it.
The idea that she would try to kill her only daughter, one she hadn't seen in 17 years. Perhaps the prosecution can offer some explanation for why she would do such a thing?
Oh, shit! I didn't know that! Oh, God! Ordered in the court! Gee, wow! Is it getting hot in here, or is it just mystic Misty Fey? Whew! Upon hearing the witness's testimony, it seemed natural enough. However, in light of some facts that have just been presented...
She was an accident. She was an unwanted pregnancy, so she tried to abort the baby 19 years too late.
One, that the victim supposedly threw away a sword during a fight, and two, that the two people battling to the death were mother and daughter. Despite the facts being believable when taken on their own, when taken together, the entire story becomes difficult to believe.
Listen, there's nothing in this world that is impossible. Except for one little thing.
Yes? What is that one little impossible thing?
You still don't get it. You think maybe my beans are under-roasted, but you have no idea, Gramps. Could you get to your point? I heard this witness's confession this morning. Just as I had taken the first sip of my 8th cup of morning coffee.
You're going to ruin your health, my friend.
Anyway, after hearing this woman's confession, I had a detective who loves to investigate sent to the scene of the crime. And he discovered this little beauty. Oh, fuck. He found the switchblade, or dagger, or whatever. Point is, there was another weapon.
Is that the dagger the witness testified to seeing?
Obviously, Your Honor. But do you notice something else? It's got strawberry jam on the end.
Now that you mention it, if you look closely, there appears to be blood on it.
How'd he get it? Well, I mean, Gumshoe found it. Well, you know, plot. Well, where'd you find that? Oh, hey, look, they're about to explain it. I didn't see that when I investigated the crime scene. Did you investigate the pine tree at the scene of the crime? Huh? The pine tree? This dagger was stuck in the backside of the pine tree. When the last blow was struck, ending the violent battle between the two women, this little baby was thrown in the direction of the back of the pine tree.
Which means the blood on this dagger belongs to the victim, correct?
Were you even listening, old man? I first heard this confession this morning, just as I had taken the first sip of my 13th cup of morning coffee. Didn't you just say you were on your 8th a few minutes ago? I didn't have enough time to get the blood analyzed on such short notice. Well, Gumshoe did find it, actually, on the last one. Though, it was, like, this morning, so...
In any case, the court will accept the dagger into evidence. Furthermore, I order that a blood test be performed on it immediately.
This is my sweetheart. Make sure you treat her right.
Bailiff, get this piece of evidence to the crime lab for testing immediately. Now then, the testimony we've just heard had numerous unbelievable aspects to it. However, after having found the very dagger the witness spoke of, I believe we can consider her testimony to be credible.
Cute girls never lie, ever. Well, I mean, one did when she poisoned you.
In any case, witness, if you could please testify again to this court.
Oh, wait. I also just realized... I know we kind of already had gotten that Godot was the one that got poisoned by Dahlia ages ago. But she poisoned him via his coffee. Which, you know...
In any case, witness, if you could please testify again to this court.
About what, Your Honor?
About the incident you saw, the battle between these two women.
Yes, Your Honor.
The battle. The battle of the bands.
Mystic Maya stumbled briefly after being hit over the head with a staff. But then she dodged Mystic Elise's next attack and stole her weapon. Suddenly, Mystic Elise was the one on the defensive with her back to the stone lantern. Were you flirting with Nick? Yeah! That's when Mystic Maya stabbed Mystic Elise. Mystic Elise managed to fling the knife away, but then she collapsed.
That was a very heartbreaking story.
I don't know if there were any bad feelings between them, but it had been 17 years since Misty's disappearance. Perhaps they simply didn't recognize each other anymore.
That does seem reasonable. Now then, Mr. Wright, proceed with your cross-examination.
Is anything weird right off the bat? That's when Mystic Maya stabbed Mystic Elise. Yeah, she would have realized, definitely. Okay, I can't pick anything apart right away. Iris, where were you standing when you witnessed all of this?
What do you mean?
Well, if either of them had noticed you, they might not have continued their battle.
I wonder if that's true. The two of them, they were standing near the garden stone lantern. I was watching the whole thing from behind. It was dark where the two of them were, so I think that's why they didn't see me.
So it was dark in the garden when the murder took place? Tell me, what did Miss Maya Fey do after she was struck?
That's interesting, because wasn't their lanterns lit? What happened to the victim's staff then?
I'm not sure. The area was very dark, so I really couldn't see. I think it got knocked away somewhere as the fight escalated.
That makes sense. That would explain the need for the dagger.
Mystic Elise raised the dagger to strike, but Mystic Maya dodged it at last second. The dagger struck the lantern and fell onto the ground. And then at some point, Mystic Maya picked it up.
Nothing sounds especially strange yet. Except for Maya picking up a weapon.
What did the victim do when the weapon was stolen from her?
Yeah, that's true. Gumshoe did tell us it was on the night of the murder. But they could have gone out. Theoretically, if we want to like poke holes, like they could have gone out by the time she got there. You're saying that Maya Fey turned the tables on the victim?
Yes. But Mystic Maya wasn't herself at the time. After all, her life was in danger.
I still can't believe it. The idea of Maya cornering someone at knife point, it's just silly. As they say, a cornered fox is more dangerous than a jackal. I believe the correct description of a cornered fox is scared and petrified. Your animal's analogies have grown tiresome. You're the one who brought it up! Yeah.
Anyway! So after Maya Fey backed the victim into the stone lantern, what happened next?
Yeah, a fox definitely would not be as strong as a jackal. It'd be scared and petrified. I'm with Wright on that one. Unless it was like rabbit or something. What'd the autopsy say? Oh yeah, maybe that's it. Let's see. Loss of blood from stab in the back. Oh, if her back was to that, then oh. Oh, stabbed in the back, but her back was to the stone lantern. Okay, or I'll go fuck myself. I guess it's on the next one when she says she stabbed her. There we go. Something about you just isn't right today, Iris.
Huh?
Until now, I thought your butt was just flat, but I realized that the other day your butt was as perky as a bubble. Anyways, I didn't think you were the type to make such a careless mistake. However, the testimony you gave contains quite a few contradictions.
What do you mean? What's so wrong about my testimony?
According to you, Maya Fey stabbed the victim while she had her back to the stone lantern. Correct?
Yes, that's right.
But in that case, the victim would have been stabbed in the stomach, right?
Yes, I think so.
And according to the autopsy report, the cause of death was due to blood loss from a stab wound in her back.
Huh?
This proves that the victim was stabbed from behind, not from the front. Sister Iris, it appears another seed of doubt has sprouted from your testimony. Hey, that's what Edgeworth was all talking about.
What? What's the meaning of this, Mr. Wright?
Don't fucking look at me. She's the one who made the contradiction. Why are you asking me? I don't know. I wasn't there on the night of the murder, except I was. Except I killed her, that bitch. But other than that, I didn't do anything. Huh. It's simple. People don't like books. We've all got a front and a back, you get my drift?
Is that all you have to say?
I can also say that darkness loves to play with the human mind. Could you please knock it off with the cheesy proverbs and illogical metaphors already? The point is, too much of this testimony just doesn't make sense. Throwing away a useful staff, the people fighting being mother and daughter, and now she falsely claims the victim was stabbed in the stomach.
There certainly are some inconsistencies.
Well, Iris, how about it?
Well, it's just...
If you ask me, you're just being too naive about the whole thing. What do you mean? What do you mean? There are 253 distinct types of bitterness in coffee. But to pick out each one requires total concentration and use of all the senses. Were you really concentrating on what the witness actually said?
Prosecutor Godot, explain yourself!
The witness was quite unambiguous about her own ambiguities when she said that the garden was dark and she couldn't see clearly. A human needs one thing to see clearly, and that is light.
Light?
By the way, did you know? Hazakura has a rule that on nights when the acolyte is at the inner temple training, the stone lantern in the garden must be kept lit. I did wonder what that stone lantern was there for.
Well, if that's true, shouldn't the witness have been able to see the crime more clearly?
Normally, yes, Your Honor. But according to the head nun, Sister Bikini, on the night of the crime, it was impossible to light that stone lantern. Impossible? It hadn't been used in a long time, and the wick was no good. In other words, it had to have been nearly pitch black in the garden that night. There could have been a faint light coming from the training hall, but that's all.
Most enlightening.
Yes, that illuminating fact has chased all the contradictions away. If the staff was dropped, it would be difficult to see. It also explains why they didn't recognize each other. We can't see the demons that lurk in the night, that's why humans are weak. Isn't that right, Tread?
No! Damn it! Order! Order! Order!
Here, Your Honor. Let me present the stone lantern into evidence. Maybe it'll rekindle the flame of truth in your mind. Was not lit the night of the crime. The upside-down Maya is still interesting. Why is the judge just sitting there with that look on his face?
What's wrong, Your
Honor? Was the flame too hot?
This lantern, there's something written on it. Why, it's written in blood!
Oh, boy. The judge didn't know about that yet? Written in blood? Did Godot not know either?
It says Maya upside down!
What the? Oh, look at that! Thank you, Black Myth Wukong.
Oh, yes, that's right. After being cornered and stabbed by Mystic Maya, Mystic Elise didn't fall down right away. She must have written that on the stone lantern behind her, with the blood that was draining out of her body.
It certainly looks that way. Hang on just a minute. What are you all talking about? What do you mean, what are you all talking about?
We're talking about the message written in blood.
Nonsense.
This lantern, it's as clean as a whistle.
Could it be?
He can't see the bloody writing at all? Now that I think about it, he did say something to me yesterday. My eyesight's pretty messed up. Even with these huge goggles on my head, I still can't see everything. So that's what he meant by that.
In any case, this is obviously an important clue. We now know that the crime scene was dark, and that the victim scrawled this message on the stone lantern. Well, Mr. Godot, anything further? Mr. Godot?
Okay then, let's move on. Godot is literally shaking. Somehow, I don't think it's from the caffeine overdose.
I believe it's now been established that Miss Donham was killed by Maya Fey.
That's just wrong! Now it's time to turn our attention to you.
Yes, sir.
After the victim died, you did something, didn't you? Let's hear it. We're all ears. Alright.
After Mystic Elise died, I called out the Mystic Maya. I thought it was my duty to protect the future master of the Kyrian tradition. So I removed the body from the inner temple by myself. I dragged it behind me all the way across Dusky Bridge. Then I used the snowmobile to carry it back to Hazakura Temple and... I used the Shuchishito to alter the way the wound looked.
So you move the body?
Yeah, I was raised at Hazakura Temple. I owe a great deal of thanks to the Fae clan. But even so, I never imagined that at least Donna was actually Misty Fae.
Why wasn't there a trail then? Well, there was one trail of it coming back. So if she took it initially, it got covered by the snow, witnessed the real murder, took it back, it'd stop snowing.
I've committed a terrible sin.
A terrible trick of fate.
At least that's my initial thought, if it's gonna be, like, logical. That could be the contradiction. I believe you're looking for a twist of fate, Your Honor.
I intended to return to the inner temple after taking care of the body, but...
You were spotted by the head nun, correct?
Yeah, and that's why I couldn't go back.
Your story makes sense, I suppose. Mr. Wright, go ahead with your cross-examination.
Yes, Your Honor. Let's go. So you waited until everything was over before making a move?
No, it's not like that.
You saw someone murdered right in front of her eyes. It's not surprising that she was a little timid.
Yes, I suppose that's true. Sometimes when I'm watching lawyers argue back and forth with each other, I feel so helpless that I just sit quietly and wait for them to reach a conclusion.
Isn't it your job as the judge to mediate the argument? Finally dawned on her what she had done. So then, you knew? You knew the significance of the name Maya Fey?
Yes, of course I did.
That's odd. I mean, Sister Bikini didn't recognize Maya's name, let alone her position.
Anyway, she was a very special person indeed.
Why'd you do that?
Because I didn't want Mystic Maya to be suspected in any way. I thought the best thing would be to remove the body from the crime scene.
You moved her body all by yourself?
Yes, I did. It would have been impossible if it wasn't for the snow.
The snow, huh? It's pretty amazing you could make it all the way back across that rickety old bridge.
Looks worse than it is, and surprisingly sturdy despite its age.
It's like they say, idiots are too stupid to catch even a simple cold. But there's one other thing that bothers me. Why not just throw the body into Eagle River? It would have been much easier than dragging it all the way to Hazakura Temple.
I thought that it would still cast too much suspicion on Mystic Maya. That's why I tried to take the body as far away as possible.
Oh, thank you, Black Myth. Huh, makes perfect sense to me. For the temple, for the time being. Anyway, what did you do after you crossed the bridge? The snowmobile? I knew that would show up sooner or later.
Yes, I had the key. I used the snowmobile to travel from Hazakura Temple to Dusky Bridge.
This is the part that was in the question the other day. Should I ask for more details? If you really did move her body by snowmobile, then there should be tracks left in the snow, right?
Well, yes, naturally you would expect tracks.
This picture was presented at yesterday's trial. Are these the tracks from that ride?
Yes, I think they are.
But I can only see one set of tracks here. Oh, thank you, phone.
Shut up, phone! I don't see what's so strange about that. Snow was still falling when I left Hazakura Temple.
I see. Snow was still falling, hmm?
And then when the murder took place, it had already stopped. That's why there are such fresh-looking tracks.
How about it, Mr. Wright? What do you think about this testimony?
Well, Well, the snow went until 10:50. Yes, the snow stopped. It stopped snowing after the bridge had already been struck by lightning. When the murder took place, the snow had already stopped? That doesn't make sense if you stack it up against the other evidence. Your Honor, I'd like that statement Iris just made added to the testimony.
But what? Does it have something to do with the case?
All will be made clear if you allow her statement to be added to the record.
Huh. This should be fun. You. Let's get this snow business cleared up, shall we?
Yes, sir.
Which means you couldn't have taken the body across the bridge because it was burning! Ha 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 ha. Wait, what? What? But how could you... There have been a lot of contradictions in your testimony so far. This time, are you sure it's all true?
Yes, I am.
When the murder happened, the snow had already stopped? According to you, that's why the snowmobile tracks were so clear?
That's right. I'm certain of it.
I think I've trapped her this time.
I see how you think, Snow, huh? What's going on here?
The snow had already stopped by the time of the murder. It'd mean there would be a bigger hole in her story than that. Than that movie, The Grid Revelations. What?
Huh. Well, then, Mr. Trap, perhaps you'd like to share your theory with us. Let's see what's up your sleeve, or rather, at the end of your index finger.
I don't want to believe it, but I don't think my logic's failing me. Iris is trying to pin the murder on Maya. But why would she want to do that? There's only one reason I can think of. So now... No? But that's true, though. The snow stopped at 10:50. And then it struck the bridge at 10:45. So the lightning struck and the bridge went up into flames before she had gotten across. And before the snow had stopped falling. Crap. Oh, maybe this? No. So Phoenix has got it. And I thought I had it too. That's a glaring hole, but... Talisman? No, that's interesting why that's ripped off. Maybe on this one. Maybe on the bridge. Maybe I did have it right. Come on. Yes! Yes, I was doing it on the wrong thing. Yes, I'm so smart. I just had it on the wrong... Oh, yeah. I just had it on the wrong statement. Oh, baby. You claimed that the snow had already stopped when the murder occurred. But I'm sorry, Iris. That just isn't possible.
What?
This is the weather data from the night of the murder. According to this, the snow didn't stop until 10:50 p.m. But you couldn't have crossed Dusky Bridge at that time.
Why do you say that?
Because 5 minutes before the snow stopped, Dusky Bridge was struck by lightning and had caught on fire.
What'd you say? The bridge was on fire?
You don't mean to say you didn't know about it? It was because of that lightning strike that the bridge burned down.
What? But it can't be. It can't be.
Looks like you still haven't figured it out. No matter how hard you try to deceive or conceal the truth, you can't pull the wool over the eyes of a real defense attorney.
No!
Is she summoning Dahlia right now? Is Iris not at the phone right now? Is she currently in the form of Dahlia?
Order, order, order!
The bridge was already on fire when the incident took place. That's right, the inner temple was already totally cut off from the outside world. There's no way he could have crossed the bridge, body or no body.
Witness, even my patience has its limits. Any further lying and I will find you in contempt of court. Do you have anything to say for yourself?
The only person here that is truly contemptible is you. Old man.
Me? How dare you?
Whether this witness lied or not, that doesn't mean squat right now. Squat? Yes, it does! This is a courtroom! The important thing now is to find out the truth, isn't that right?
Yes, of course, but...
Whether it was snowing or not snowing, or whether the bridge was burning or not, there are two facts that can't be disputed. First, the body of Elise Donham was discovered in the Hazakura Temple courtyard, and second, the head nun, Sister Bikini, witnessed Iris desecrating Elise Donham's body. Makes a good point, on both accounts.
That's right. I'm not lying.
What are you claiming this time?
I was myself at all that night. So my memory's still somewhat hazy.
Okay, you were summoning Dahlia. You were the one summoning her! But that doesn't really make that much sense, because Pearl still couldn't summon Dahlia. It would make sense if that was on the night, but she tried the next day and it still wasn't working. Right? You have stood at that witness stand and testified this entire time. Are you telling us now that your memory of the night is hazy? It's only human to err. If you're so perfect, right, then maybe you can explain to this whole court. What is it? When the murder happened, the bridge had already burned down. But somehow the body traveled across the bridge and was found in the temple courtyard. Perhaps you have some kind of perfect explanation for this little magic trick? Well, not exactly. No. No, there must be some other way to get across that burnt-out bridge. Unless I can somehow demonstrate it, we'll never know the truth.
Looks like the defense is not prepared to offer a suitable explanation.
See what I mean? In other words, you're in no position to suggest that this lady's testimony isn't the truth. Well, okay then. What's your explanation for the bridge having been burnt down? Ah!
Alright then, witness, let's hear your testimony one more time.
About what, Your Honor? About the truth?
You've admitted that you moved the victim's body. Nevertheless, your prior testimony contained a rather large inconsistency. Please add an explanation for that in your testimony.
Yes, Your Honor.
Will this be your final testimony? Here we go.
Other than walking over the bridge, there's no other way to move the body. So I must have just gotten confused, I guess. Was the snow still falling or had it stopped? Does it really matter that much? Or are you saying that there is a way to cross a burning bridge?
So it was just a misunderstanding, I see.
This is a photo of Dusky Bridge after it burned down from the lightning blast. It was taken on the morning after the incident.
Certainly was burnt to a crisp, and one of the suspension wires had even snapped. It's amazing the whole bridge didn't fall. Clearly, it would have been impossible to carry a corpse across a bridge in this condition.
Interesting. Unless I do something to discredit this testimony, it's going to be deemed as the truth. And Maya will be accused of murder. Try it? I'm only gonna say it one more time. It's only human to err. And only humans can spot the errors in our ways. The more sense he makes, the less sense he makes.
All right, Mr. Wright, please begin your final cross-examination.
Sure thing. Yes, but if the snow had already stopped when the incident took place.
I couldn't have crossed that bridge, naturally. But I think it's just like what Mr. Godot said. The body did make it across somehow.
But you seemed to be quite sure of yourself when you gave your testimony. You said you were sure the snow had already stopped.
I'm terribly sorry. I was wrong.
Does she really think an apology is going to get her off the hook? This is no joke. You're giving a sworn testimony in a court of law.
Well, Mr. Wright, let me ask you a question. Do you remember what the weather was like 1 week ago today?
Huh? Well, naturally it was,
You see? It's not that easy to remember, is it?
But if it had been some kind of special day, I would have remembered. For example, it was pouring rain on the day of my elementary school graduation. Are you sure you're graduated? With objections like those? No one wants to hear about your childhood traumas, Trite. What? I love the rain! That wasn't a trauma, that was a victory! By the time the murder took place, the snow had already stopped. If you insist on obsessing over that one statement, let's see the proof. Show some evidence that this body somehow crossed the bridge while it was on fire. Well, I mean, we do still have that drawing. I could try the fucking doodle. Oh my god, it's the doodle. A dead body flying over a burning bridge. I wouldn't exactly rule out the possibility.
But what the fuck are you talking about? Where's this coming from?
Ha! You're saying it's possible? Don't make me laugh. The only thing that's possible about your claim is that it's been pulled out of thin air. I don't know about that. In any case, we have a witness who did see it happen.
Who is it? Who is this witness?
Can't chicken out here. I've got to keep on the attack and go, go, go. Miss Elise Donham's brilliant and highly gifted apprentice, Larice Donham.
Brilliant?
Highly gifted.
Apprentice?
Remember what he said in his testimony. That night he was staying at the Mountain Shack at Heavenly Hall, and that's when he witnessed the event. I think you've all seen this sketch before. It's an exact drawing of what he witnessed that night.
Are you serious? Today's not April Fool's Day, is it? It's not Kick the Judge Day. Mr. Wright, are you seriously claiming that the victim flew through the air? And you're using this pathetic scribble to support your argument?
Uh-oh. The judge looks like he's about to blow a gasket. Well, Trent, there's nowhere for you to hide now. Other than looking like this was drawn by a 6-year-old, does this sketch prove anything? Yes, I'm pretty sure it does. And I'm gonna prove it. Listen, I know your tricks. You're trying to turn this whole thing upside down. If you're so eager to turn this case upside down, why not start with this sketch? Upside down? Why'd Godot say that? Laser, you did say something about turning the sketch upside down. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Guys, hold on. Hold on. Hold on. What if she's in the water? What if she's in the water? She was floated across the water. That would make sense. Okay. All right. Well.
Alright then, let's hear the defense's theory. What exactly is this sketch trying to show?
I don't think old Whiskerface is going to forgive any more mistakes. Alright, Phoenix. Look carefully and think it over. The sketch was drawn by Loris Donham is... Okay. So I'm going to say it's exactly what happened if you flip it over. Of course the victim was flying through the air. You can see it right there in the sketch. Whoosh! Never mind. Phoenix, that's not what you're supposed to say. We're not supposed to say that. That's not what you were supposed to say, buddy. Something is obviously funny about this sketch.
Well, I'm no art critic, but even I can see that.
No, that's not what I mean, Your Honor. Loris Donham stated it over and over, that this sketch was exactly as he saw it. Oh, he saw it from there! Upside down! Oh! However, if we're to believe this testimony, then the sketch contradicts reality as we know it. It contradicts reality? Huh. This is getting interesting. Looks like you're putting that finger-pointing thing back again. Alright, try. What exactly contradicts reality as we know it? The support beams. It's the wire connected to this bridge.
The wire?
Huh. Is that the thing that contradicts reality? It is indeed. And show us the reality it supposedly conflicts with. Show us something that will point out the sketch contradicts reality. Well, clearly, the Dusky Bridge photo.
That's a photo of the Dusky Bridge, correct?
Yes. Now compare the sketch and the photo for a minute. In the sketch, the wires appear to be above the guard wires. But on the actual Dusky Bridge,
Jumping Jehoshaphat! The wires are...
below the guard wires!
What? Order! This sketch is somewhat different from what's depicted in the photo. However, isn't it likely that the artist saw it wrong?
Or perhaps he just drew it wrong. Either way, it sounds like you're just wrong. With someone like Loris, I admit a mistake is a definite possibility. But that begs the question, why did he make a mistake? What was the reason? Are you saying you know the answer to that? Listen, think back, alright? Remember what Loris was doing when he witnessed this event? He was at Heavenly Hall waiting for a lover that was never going to come. Well, Wright knows a thing or two about that, you know what I'm saying? He waited, and finally he laid down. But then, lightning shoots from the sky and sets the bridge aflame. Now ponder what sort of position Loris must have been at the time. He was lying on his back, which is why he remembered the scene the way he did.
He was lying on his back. I can't see how it relates.
Oh, but it does, Your Honor. That is the reason why the wires in the sketch go up instead of down.
No way.
Maurice Donham witnessed the event while he was lying on his back, face up. In other words, the scene that he saw was actually upside down.
So then, this sketch should actually...
I think you finally get it, Your Honor. The correct way to view Maurice Donham's sketch is like this. This is actually how it should look. The victim's body wasn't flying above the bridge. It was actually swinging from below. Oh shit, not in the water? Oh yeah, wait, that was pecking at me inside my head. I was like, okay, it doesn't seem like she's gonna be in the water. But how else? She was swinging from the wires? Monkey style? That's right, just like a pendulum.
Ridiculous! Order, order!
Of all the things to say, a pendulum? The bridge was burning to a crisp. There was no way to get across it. But if the body had been found at the inner temple, it would have caused problems. This is where the criminal decided to take a gamble. They used the burning bridge to get the body across to the other side, and a pendulum was the way to get it done. Let's think about this for a minute, shall we? This bridge is about 20 yards long, which means it's about that far from the inner temple to the opposite cliff. Yep, that sounds about right. In order to cover that distance with a pendulum, you'd need a rope at least 10 yards long. To get a rope that long, you'd have to plan ahead. They used the support wires, you freak! No, so it doesn't make sense that the culprit could have prepared a rope beforehand. But now if we look at this, notice there are 3 support wires. Right, those are wires. And 1 is missing. So then, they didn't have to get a rope ready. The rope was already right in front of them. What? I'm saying, it was just a matter of using what was already there.
In that case, Mr. Wright, please give an explanation to support your theory. What makes you think the criminal had a rope on hand to create a pendulum?
Alright, I'm thinking we're gonna have to show the temple map like I just did. I think that's correct. Tracks photo, crime photo. Or we could point out the one that's already drooping. Actually, that might be it.
And the meaning of this is?
If you want to know where the rope came from. It's hanging right there in front of your glorious beard.
Ah, this is one of the wires from the bridge.
When the lightning struck the bridge and set it on fire, one of the suspension wires came loose from its anchor. The criminal didn't have enough time to waste. So, they tied the wire around Elise Donham's body. That's so silly! How did that work? Because there was simply no other way to move the body.
Mr. Godot! Yep, it seems that Mr. Godot is focused on his coffee than answering my question. It seems that the odds of a rope being readily available were very high, so I suppose that it's not an impossibility after all.
Possible or impossible? That's not the question we need to ask. There's only one question. Did that really happen? Try. I wonder if you can prove what happened to us. Do you have any actual evidence that the body was swung over like a pendulum? Actually, yes. Body fell 10 feet after death. Before I present my evidence, let me review what we know so far. According to this photo, one of the wires snapped. Yep, that one. Looking at the map, we can see that it's the one in front of the inner temple.
So then, that was the spot where the criminal...
Yes, precisely. Now let us consider the body's movement by looking at the overhead map again. If the body was pushed from this point here, it would drop on the opposite bank at approximately this point.
Did you say drop?
Well, they must have failed to catch the body on the other bank.
What? What makes you think something like that happened?
Because I have evidence that suggests her body dropped some distance.
What kind of evidence?
Take a look at this autopsy report. It says here that her body fell about 10 feet after her death.
10 feet. Huh.
That's most likely the height difference between the two sides. The body swung over due to the momentum, but then came loose and fell about 10 feet. And then, as a result of the landing impact, this crystal sphere was knocked loose.
That's...
Yes, this blood-stained amethyst crystal. It's the one that came off of Miss Donham's staff. And even more important is the place where the crystal sphere was found.
Indeed, I believe it's already marked here on the overhead map. The crystal was found... Ah!
Precisely, Your Honor. In the very spot where the pendulum would arrive if given the right amount of speed.
This explains your theory quite well, Mr. Wright. You've provided us with a way the body could have been moved that night. An impressive deduction, Mr. Wright. Most impressive. God damn, that tight ass and that blue suit. You know, I never noticed it before, but after you made some sense right now, Mr. Wrong is seeming pretty Mr. Right to me. Mr. Wright?
I thought this cold coffee might help you cool down.
What's the meaning of this, Mr. Godot?
That was a dark and bitter guess that you made, Trent. But you forgot about one thing.
Oh, and what would that be?
The aroma. Huh? A coffee's most reliable accomplice is the deep and profound aroma. The rest of the court doesn't speak coffee-nese. Can you elaborate a bit more? The criminal had sent the body to the other side, like you say. Then naturally, there must have been an accomplice lying in wait to catch it.
An accomplice?
The criminal wasn't able to cross Dusky Bridge. So who collected the body? What do you have to say about that, Trite? She's sitting right there. Or it was Bikini. It's either Bikini or her, but it's probably her because of the snowmobile. I think there was some truth to her testimony.
Mr. Godot's correct. This can't be the work of a single person.
Well, it's either Bikini or our very own Iris. Bossman's raiding with a party of 5? Well, thank you for the raid, Bossman. We're in the middle of, titling an accomplice here. Came in at a very intense time. You missed the big pendulum debate.
Very well then, if you please, Mr. Wright. Who was the person that received the body on the Hazakura Temple's side?
I'm gonna go with, Iris real quick. Just out the gate. It can only be you, Sister Iris.
Huh?
I don't see why you're so surprised. The only way to transport the body from Dusky Bridge is by snowmobile. But with her bad back, Sister Bikini could never pick up a body like that. You're the only one that could have managed it. Try. Were you even listening to the witness's testimony? On the night of the crime, this little cutie pie was on cleanup duty in the inner garden after the mother-daughter bloodbath. You're doing a second playthrough of Liza P? Oh, nice. I've been meaning to do another playthrough of Liza P. That game was really fun. But I think we're getting DLC soon, so I have to wait. I haven't forgotten, but have you, Mr. Godot? This witness was also seen at Hazakura Temple, desecrating the corpse of the victim.
Strange indeed. It's almost as if, on that night, the defendant was in 2 places at the same time.
Sister Iris, let me ask you something. Why didn't you mention it when you first gave your testimony?
Mention what?
The pendulum, of course. Using the sketch drawn by an eyewitness, I have established how the body was moved using the burnt-out bridge, which means it's now a fact that this occurred, something you should have already known.
No, I had no idea. I didn't know anything about a pendulum.
But the body couldn't have been passed along to the other side without your help, so you should have known about it. In fact, it'd be impossible for you to be clueless about the whole thing, unless you're not really Iris to begin with. Dahlia!
What? How can you say that, Mr. Wright?
What? What kind of nonsense is this? You're saying this witness isn't Iris of Hazakura Temple?
Are you serious, Trad? You mean this woman is... Now I get it. Now I know why I've been sick to my stomach this whole trial. Why her whole demeanor changed so suddenly from yesterday. A certain spirit is taken over. And why she was trying to pin the murder on Maya. The woman that's standing at the stand there. Her real name is... Mia Fey! Got him! I never thought I'd have to utter your name again. You did one attempt of Black Rabbit Brotherhood. I remember that boss fight being crazy. Like, when I beat that boss, it was so satisfying. I think the final attempt I had on that one, I actually made it to breaking the last guy's sword and him just not being able to do enough damage to me to kill. It's so cool. I really like how that game was like such a perfect blend of Bloodborne and Sekiro. Very cool. Let alone see you. It's been a long time, Dahlia Hawthorne.
Hawthorne?
Sister Iris had a twin sister. And you're looking at her, Miss Dahlia Hawthorne.
That name rings some bells. Distant bells, but bells nonetheless.
It's just your imagination, Gramps. This file contains all the relevant data about Dahlia Hawthorne.
Oh yes, I remember now. That case 5 years ago.
Oh, that was a nice transition.
But according to this, Dahlia Hawthorne's already dead. It says her execution was carried out last month.
So what? Death has no meaning in this courtroom.
What? Order! Order! Order!
Wait a moment. How can you... My sister, she's already dead. What kind of...
You of all people should already understand, after all. The blood of the master of the Kyrian channeling technique flows within that body.
The Kyrian channeling technique? Now where have I heard that?
That's right. You're not Dahlia Hawthorne yourself. You're the spirit of Dahlia currently inhabiting the body of a spirit medium.
What an exciting story. Exciting, but quite impossible. You're asking us to buy that Dahlia Hawthorne just happened to be channeled by someone on the very night of the murder to a temple where her twin sister Iris was?
Well, if you're gonna put it things like that, then yes.
We're supposed to believe a coincidence like that just happens?
No coincidence. The whole thing was a part of a plan from the very beginning. It's all written right here in these instructions.
What's that?
These instructions were written by your mother, Morgan Fay. And part of the plan called for Dahlia Hawthorne to be channeled. That night, there were 2 irises at Hazakura Temple.
Two of them?
Even the time of the channeling was planned out. As soon as you hear the lights out bell, in other words, 10 p.m. However, Iris was seen before dinner time.
That means that Iris was at dinner. The Iris that was at dinner was the real Iris.
And the Iris who gave me this hood in the main hall was also the real Iris. Meaning that the Iris Sister Bikini saw at the inner temple was someone else dressed as her, namely one Dahlia Hawthorne.
Do you even know what you're saying, Track? This whole channeling the spirit of Dahlia Hawthorne business. Yes, it's true that you found plans that talk about it. However, there's one thing that's perfectly clear. The witness currently standing in the witness stand is the real Iris. But what? Calm down and remember what you know about the night of the crime. After meeting Sister Bikini, the Dahlia Hawthorne that had been channeled would have been stranded at the inner temple due to the lightning strike. It was later that the body was moved by pendulum.
That's right.
Naturally, that meant the Iris that received the body was the real Iris. Are you with me so far?
Yes.
To be notified of what happened, the police came to Hazakura Temple's main hall, where they found Iris in her room and arrested her. And ever since then, she's been under police supervision at the detention center.
Yes, I suppose. Can't deny any of that.
Ooh, thank goodness. It looks like he's finally convinced.
Something still seems way off. I'm still not convinced that the Iris here is the same one from the other night.
Suppose you're about to say something really ridiculous? Like the real Iris and the spirit of Dahlia somehow switched places? Switched places?
Ah! I got it. Pearl was used as the initial Dahlia. Then, the spirit was switched over to Iris on the other side. I think that's it. Because Pearl was supposedly there and fell asleep. Maybe she didn't fall asleep. Maybe she did successfully call on Dahlia after all.
There's still quite a few things I don't understand, but I do know that unless we confirm the witness's identity, we can't continue with this trial.
Iris doesn't have the spiritual power needed to channel Dahlia. Which means they must have switched places somewhere.
Well, Mr. Wright?
It's the time she was arrested at Hazakura Temple.
Have there been any chances for Iris to switch places with Dahlia Hawthorne?
Well, there was just this one time. Your Honor, I think there might have been one chance.
Oh, explain yourself.
Yesterday, for a few minutes, Iris's whereabouts were unknown. Oh, that's true.
Unknown? What do you mean?
What I mean is, there was a span of time which Iris was able to move about freely unsupervised.
Well, who was it? Who would give the murder suspect time to move about freely like that?
I'm sorry, I know you didn't mean to. It wasn't your fault. No, Edgeworth. Can we blame Gumshoe instead? He probably wouldn't mind.
This is Mr. Edgeworth, isn't it?
Your Honor, there was a fairly large earthquake yesterday, was there not?
An earthquake?
The shaking's so crazy. How about we beat the devil out of her? True. There is a way to get the soul out of them.
How could I have been? She fled. She escaped.
We went to the inner temple right away. And it's true, Iris was already there. However, they had already switched places by that point in time. When I arrived at the training hall, I was met by none other than Dahlia Hawthorne.
That's quite enough already, Mr. Wright. Now see here. No judging is right.
Be quiet.
Oh, shit.
It's been a long time, Mr. Judge.
That voice. Guess I'll have to ask again. Upon meeting a beautiful lady, I always ask for her name and profession.
That's one of my rules.
Dahlia Hawthorne. My current profession? Permanently retired.
So you're not going to bother hiding your identity anymore, huh?
Why should I? After all, I'm dead. There's really nothing you can do to punish me.
What? What is going on here?
Dahlia Hawthorne. Never thought we'd meet again. I never thought we'd meet like this. But this time, I'll end it. For her and for myself. Dahlia, I'm breaking up with you!
We were never really together, Wright. What are you talking about? It was all a sham to get rid of the poison bottle. That stupid fucking ape drank.
Now then, let's continue where we left off, shall we? Well, witness?
Yes, how can I help you, Mr. Judge?
Well, it seems if we're to learn the truth, we'll need to hear your testimony.
I have no problem with that. But when you've seen what I have, sometimes the truth is better left unknown.
In any case, let's hear your testimony. Tell us about the plan that was carried out that night.
I like how the judge has just completely accepted whatever bullshit comes into his courtroom. Because he believes it now.
The whole plan began with my death. A stupid plan hatched by Morgan Fay to install her next daughter, her own daughter as the next master. But for it to work, Maya Fay would first have to die. The idea was for me to kill Maya and then have the blame pinned on Iris.
Yeah, is ghost testimony acceptable? I don't know.
The plan went wrong, but it seems to have succeeded anyway.
So that means you really are...
Wait a minute. Did you just say the plan was to kill Maya Fay?
Yes. You have a problem with that?
Don't give me that nonsense. There's no way that... Want yourself tried. If you've got a problem, solve it during cross-examination. That's one of my rules.
Mr. Goddard is correct! And by the way, that's one of my rules as well.
To kill Maya? Could it be true? Yes. 110%. 1,000,000% true. Ow. We literally can't punish her, too. That's, like, all we can do is get Iris off the hook. Like, okay, she was an accomplice, so she didn't actually murder anyone. You were executed last month, correct?
Yes, I was hanged. It wasn't exactly pleasant.
How'd you manage to discuss the plan? When did you talk with Morgan Fay?
Last year, she was transferred to the same detention center as me. Since I was on death row, and she was my mother, it was actually pretty easy to meet with her.
I see. So that's when you discussed the plan?
Huh. Are you crazy? At first, that woman was planning to kill me as well. Even though I'm her own daughter.
All to make Pearl Fay the master of Curaine?
She's a cold, twisted woman. She thought she could finally regain her lost honor. The honor she lost when her younger sister Misty took her place as master. Ever since that day, she's been working on this plan.
A plan, huh? This definitely is interesting. I'm definitely listening, and not completely in my own world.
You're talking about Pearl Fay, is that correct?
Yes, though at first she had high hopes for the two of us.
You and your twin sister Iris?
That's correct. Fortunately, neither of us had had much spiritual power. That's why we were abandoned by her along with our father.
Abandoned?
Wait, she abandoned them?
The only person I ever really cared about in my life was myself.
No, it was the other way around, right?
My sister was a nuisance, so I convinced my father to leave her at an old temple.
Okay, fucking the worst human being alive?
You mean Iris? Yes, my father remarried a woman who also had a daughter. The less children you have, the more money there is to go around, right? And on top of that, my father had absolutely no interest in children at all.
How horrible!
The really horrible one was that woman. That bitter, vengeful woman. You say all this as if you're not a vengeful, horrible, worthless piece of fucking human garbage! It was her stubbornness that gave birth to that child, Pearl Fay. She was born with an abundance of spiritual power, unfortunately for her. Morgan Fay heaped all of her broken hopes and dreams onto the poor child's back. All because of her pathetic dreams of having her bloodline become the main family.
Maya would have to die? But why?
For our bloodline to succeed as the main family, thus making Pearl the new master. The remaining descendants of the current master had to be taken care of.
But Pearls would never agree to a plan like that. She adores Maya.
How sad. You still don't get it, do you? They tricked her, you idiot! What Pearl wanted had nothing to do with it. Morgan didn't care one bit about Pearl.
We already knew that.
The only thing she cared about was the position of master, that's all. Isn't Pearl in the courtroom right now? Isn't Pearl watching the trial canonically? No, Pearl! She didn't need to know that. Oh, fuck. We're gonna hear all about this later.
That's ridiculous!
She was willing to sacrifice anything and anyone to achieve her goal. The life of her daughter, and naturally the life of Maya Fey as well.
He's drinking a juice box in the defendant's lobby. Oh, good. Innocent. Unaware. Who needs Morgan? Pearl has me and Maya. Fuck Morgan. How could anyone do that?
The idea was for me to kill Maya and have the blame pinned on Iris.
You were going to kill Maya?
Pearl didn't need to know anything about it. All she had to do was follow the instructions in the letter the channel sent me. Or to channel me. Then I would simply have used her body and finished the job. In any case, I'm already dead, and there's nothing any of you can do to me.
Ugh. So the plan was to blame the crime on your younger twin, our sister Iris of Hazakura Temple.
She and I look absolutely identical. No one can tell us apart. If someone were to witness me killing Maya, naturally they would think it was Iris who had done it.
The witness in this case was the head nun, Sister Bikini.
I never would have guessed she was going to return to Hazakura Temple that night, but she wound up being seeing Iris's crime anyway.
But why did you want to pin the murder on Iris in the first place? She's your twin sister, isn't she?
Twin sister? Don't make me laugh. She's nothing but a backstabber. I couldn't care less about her.
Oh, right, she did betray her in the previous thing. Backstabber.
You just don't understand. You never will. Anyway.
You think the plan was a success?
You heard me. Just as that woman had hoped. Maya Fey is dead. No! Now the title of master will pass on to Pearl Fey.
That's absurd! Maya's she's just trapped inside the sacred cavern.
Really? You're as foolishly optimistic as ever, aren't you, my darling Feeny? Do you want to know the truth? Ever since we met, I've despised you. Your sniveling naivete, and your pathetic faith in other people.
I just want to know one thing. What did you personally think of Morgan Fay's plan?
I told you already, didn't I? It was a stupid plan. It had no point, no value other than fulfilling her own greedy desires. Yes, it was certainly nothing to be proud of.
If that's how you feel, why'd you help her carry it out? Why would you do it? Why would you kill Maya?
You may not understand it, being the kind and gentle soul that you are. You may not be able to appreciate why someone like me would help a woman like that.
So then tell me why!
Is Isn't it obvious? I'm not like that woman. I only act in my own self-interest. The reason I helped her was for myself.
Because you wanted revenge.
For my own personal satisfaction.
What did you say? So this woman, Dahlia Hawthorne, she had her own reason for wanting Maya dead? Obviously, it's because you were helping Morgan Fay.
Helping? Don't make me laugh. From the day I was born to the day I died, I never helped anyone. I lived for myself, and in the end, I died for myself. I thought that was obvious.
She wasn't actually cooperating with Morgan. She was just using Morgan in her plan so she could accomplish her own goal.
All I wanted to do was kill Maya Fey. That was the only way I could think of to get revenge.
Oh. For Mia. Mia getting her incarcerated and killed. Revenge. It looks like I have no choice but to present that piece of evidence. I can't believe it. She meant to kill Maya. I've got to keep a cool head, and I need to get more information out of her. It's the only way to understand this plan. What she was after as well. It was because of Mia, wasn't it? We know, we read the trial. Could it be that your actual goal had nothing to do with Maya Fey herself?
As I said, none of you have the power to punish me anymore. Because I'm already dead. Well, I had the same problem, you see. You can't punish the dead. And you can't take revenge against them either.
You wanted to take revenge on someone?
I was sentenced to die because of that woman. Mia Fey.
I somehow knew this was it.
I wanted to send her a message. It was at her hands that I suffered my first humiliation. I wanted her to feel the same pain that she made me feel. Sadly, when I realized revenge was impossible, I gave up.
And the reason it was impossible? Was it perhaps because Mia Fey had already died?
Yes, and I realized there's only one way to take revenge against the dead.
And how do you do that?
Even when the body dies, the spirit, the ego, it lives on forever. I wanted to take away the person that Mia Fey loved the most. I wanted to kill her with my own hands. That would be the one and only way I could take my revenge against Mia Fey. That was the reason I helped out with that woman's plans.
Just for that? Just so that you could kill Maya? Your goal was no different than that of Morgan Fay.
As they say, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
Yeah, well, true.
What a cruel plan. Cruel, cold, and heartless.
Don't waste your time preaching to the dead. I've already told you, there's not a thing you can do to me.
Ugh.
That night. At about 9:30 p.m., I materialized into this world. I quickly pinned my hair up and put on a demon warding hood. Then I picked up the staff that was by my side and left Hazakura Temple.
So it was at least Donham who channeled her after all.
That ridiculous head nun never noticed a thing. She left Maya Fey at the inner temple and wobbled back, clutching her poor old back.
What did you do then?
That kid was easier to handle than I had hoped. I caught up with her in front of the stone lantern. Then I took out the dagger I got from the storeroom and... What? No!
That can't be true! So then you're saying you stabbed Maya?
It's strange, but I don't have a clear memory of what happened after that.
Okay.
What does that mean? No clear memory.
I don't know. I think I was stabbed.
You were stabbed?
The last minute, Maya Fey must have stabbed me, I'm sure of it.
That's not like her at all. Maya wouldn't stab a French fry with a plastic fork.
Anyway, I suddenly lost consciousness, but before I did, I scrawled her name on the lantern. Just as I was passing out, I wrote Maya behind my back.
Oh!
I hoped it would cast suspicion on her.
I can't believe she was thinking of that until the bitter end.
That's where my memory temporarily stops.
It stops?
I don't have any memory of actually killing Maya Fey with my own 2 hands. My very last memory was Maya's terror-filled eyes. When I woke up after that, I was in the sacred cavern, surrounded by darkness.
You were in the sacred cavern?
The entrance was sealed with one of those trick locks. Somehow I'd been trapped in there.
How did you wind up in there?
I'd like to know that myself. Anyway, I was worried. I didn't know whether or not Maya Fey was dead.
I think at that point Maya was summoning her.
And I swore I wouldn't return to the underworld until I knew I had killed her myself.
For a ghost, you're one tough cookie.
I wanted to get out of there and make sure she was dead. But I couldn't do it. I couldn't get out.
Trick lock stopped you, huh?
I didn't know how to remove it.
So then you're saying you were actually confined against your will inside the sacred cavern?
Yes, I wanted to get rid of that annoying lock as soon as possible. But it wasn't easy. I kept getting interrupted while I was working on it.
Interrupted?
It was early in the morning, but someone came into the training hall.
What? Who?
Could it have been Maya?
I thought the same thing, but I couldn't see.
Why not?
If someone had spotted me, I would have lost my chance to take revenge. So I made sure to hide myself well at the back of the sacred cavern.
That morning, only 2 people could have gone into the training hall. Maya and Pearls. Pearls went there to cover the hanging scroll in gravy. Yeah, I'm guessing at this point she was summoned by Maya, because remember, she can't be in the world without a host. And it has to be a spirit medium. So I think at first she was in Miss Donham for some reason. I don't know why. I still don't know why she summoned her in the first place. Because it was Misty Faye. But then... I guess Maya got almost stabbed and then... I don't know. She locked herself in the cavern? She must have locked herself in. I think that's the best explanation I can give.
Still, I finally managed to remove the lock. But I was too late.
What do you mean by that?
The files had already started to gather. The flies.
The bridge had been fixed and the police had started their investigation, correct?
Naturally, I couldn't go out, so instead, I returned to the cavern and put the lock back on myself. I realized I wouldn't get a chance to see Maya's corpse as I'd hoped. But just then, Lady Luck showed up.
Lady Luck?
After that big earthquake, she showed up all by herself.
The real Iris?
She said she'd come to make sure the sacred cavern was all right.
Stupid girl.
I came out from the sacred cavern and got a feel for the situation. I locked her away in my place.
Wait, so... Oh my god, so Iris is in there. And this person we have right here, this is Maya. Maya's on the stand right now. I figured it out. That's gotta be it. I'm pretty sure I'm right. She took over Maya's body while she was in there, whether Maya summoned her or not, I'm not sure. And then that just happened. She switched places with Iris. Iris is in there now. And she's on the stand here, still inhabiting Maya's body. That's gotta be it.
I finally learned exactly what happened. It was then that I learned that the plan had actually succeeded.
That is about the same color as Maya's hair. What do you mean your plan had succeeded?
I'd misunderstood one thing, you see. That night, the one that had summoned me. I'd assumed that it was Pearl Fay.
Well, of course you'd assume that. It was written in the instructions.
But I was wrong. The person that had actually called my spirit back was... Misty Fay, the picture book author.
What?
Well, that's really the only possibility, isn't it? After I lost consciousness in the garden. It was her body that was left lying there. Maya Fay. I wasn't able to kill her with my own two hands after all. But even so, I made her commit the most vile sin a human can commit. Matricide, the sin of killing your own mother.
No way! Order in the court! What's the meaning of this?
It's true that I was the one who attacked Maya Fay, but even so, the murderer who actually snuffed out Misty Fay's life was none other than your darling little Maya.
That is true. Ridiculous. That's nonsense.
Are you sure about that? Just think about it. There's even evidence supporting these facts, isn't there?
What? What do you mean? What's this so-called evidence?
The fact that Maya Fay has disappeared is evidence enough, isn't it?
Huh?
The idea that she's still in the sacred cavern is just ridiculous. She wasn't able to escape from the inner temple, that much is obvious. In that case, there's only one place she could be.
Where?
I have to spell it out for you. The bottom of the Eagle River. Where else?
Eagle River?
Maya Fay killed her long-lost mother. Can you imagine the guilt she must have felt when she realized that?
It's a slightly different color, but they did originally have the same color hair. Obviously because this is Maya Fay right here. Let's get that fucking spirit out of that body and get my girlfriend back.
Most bodies that wind up in there are lost forever. So, what do you have to say now, Feeny?
Oh, well... Oops. Sorry, that's my phone. What kind of ringtone is that? Godot here. Okay, thanks.
Oh, was it something important?
They just finished removing the locks from the sacred cavern. That's great! What about Maya? There was a woman in the cave.
Was it Maya Fay?
It was the accused Sister Iris. Yep, as she said.
Don't look so surprised. I locked her in there yesterday. I just finished telling you that.
So, what about Maya? Where is she? There was no one else found inside that cavern. No, it can't be.
I told you, didn't I? She's dead.
No. No!
It seems that this case has come to an end. A tragic end. Sadly, it appears the killer of Elise Donham, also known as Misty Fay, was her own daughter, Maya Fay. Overcome with guilt for what she had done, Maya Fay jumped to her death into the raging waters of Eagle River.
It can't be. Ha! Try? Have you ever heard this one? Once you eliminate the impossible, whatever remains must be the truth, no matter how improbable it may seem.
What's that supposed to mean, Prosecutor Godot?
According to this witness, Maya Fay threw herself into the Eagle River. However, is that really the truth? Remember, this woman testified earlier that the bridge was already on fire when the murder was taking place in the garden, which means if Maya had thrown herself into the river,
showdown means.
It must have been from the inner temple side near the bridge.
That's right. That's where she jumped from.
But that's impossible.
Because it's all Rocky, baby!
Thank you, Godot. I don't know why you didn't let me bring that up. That would have been a good objection moment, but okay, whatever. It's impossible to jump into the river from there. What? Don't get your panties all twisted up, right? Just relax and think through the whole thing. So it's impossible? Maya couldn't have thrown herself into Eagle River? Oh, wait, I do get to say it? Yes! The map! It's impossible to jump into the Eagle River from the inner temple side. No one knows that better than this witness.
What'd you say?
11 years ago, you jumped into the very same river. Just take a look at this overhead map. As you can see, below the cliff on the inner temple side is a big rock shelf.
Oh! You're right!
She wouldn't have reached the river if she jumped from there. In other words, if she had jumped, we should have been able to see her body in this photo. So you finally figured it out. You.
No!
Order!
You're just playing with me. My face body's at the bottom of Eagle River. There's nowhere else she could be hiding.
Miss Hawthorne, have you ever heard this one before? Once you eliminate the impossible, whatever remains must be the truth.
Yes, just a few minutes ago.
Maya Fey wasn't inside the sacred cavern. We know that she didn't throw herself into Eagle River. That eliminates all the most likely possibilities. Now, although it seems improbable, there's still one other place she could be.
What? What is this one possibility you're talking about?
That's obviously a bluff. So where's her dead body then?
Finally, I think the pieces are falling into place. Yeah, I mean, you got it, just a little late. But okay, yeah, we got it. Normally, the living have no way to punish the dead. But I think there is a way to give Dahlia Hawthorne the ultimate punishment. Shall I tell you, Miss Hawthorne? Shall I tell you where Maya Fey is this instant? Maya Fey is in this very courtroom. There's only one possibility left. Namely, she's right here in this very courtroom.
What?
My face here? You say she's here in my courtroom? A ghost? Zoinks!
Dahlia Hawthorne, I seem to recall that you said I'd misunderstood one thing, you see.
So what?
But I think there's one more thing you misunderstood.
What do you mean?
Tell me something. At this very moment, who is channeling Dahlia Hawthorne?
Why, that's obvious. It's Pearl Fey. That pathetic little sniveling runt.
You're wrong. Pearl's tried, but she couldn't do it. Right? She couldn't summon you.
Someone called me, before Pearl did? But who?
Pearl's even tried again on the day after the crime, but she couldn't do it. What could that mean? I think the truth is becoming clearer to you right now, am I correct? It wasn't Pearls that channeled you. It's Maya! This is an easy one. Pearls couldn't do it, and Misty Faye's gone. There's only one possibility left.
Come on already! I can't stand the tension. My tension boner can't get any harder.
Dahlia Hawthorne. The person channeling you right now must be Maya Fey.
What?
But how can that be? Remember what this witness Dahlia Hawthorne said about her goal.
She said that her goal was to kill Maya Fey.
Yes, that's right. But if Maya channeled the spirit of someone that was trying to kill her...
Huh. Well, Gramps, so what would happen?
Could it be?
Looks like you finally understand, Your Honor.
Well, I don't. What are you talking about?
What I'm going on about is the reason Maya channeled you. And there's only one reason. To protect herself from you.
To protect herself? From me?
Yes. On the night of the crime, you were only interested in one thing. Killing Maya Fey. The path back to Hazakura was closed off and there was nowhere for her to run. So then, the problem became, where would be the safest place to hide?
You mean that's when she channeled me?
All this time, you thought you'd been channeled by Pearls. That's why it never occurred to you that Maya's hiding place was you.
No.
Can we grab her before she tries to kill herself? Because that's one... She could still do that, you know. She could, like, hold her breath for real long and then bump her head and do some damage to Maya. Double dead.
You're saying that I, Dahlia Hawthorne, was played for a fool by that little whelp? Maya Fey killed herself, isn't it obvious?
Sorry, but no. It would have been impossible for her to jump into the Eagle River. This was the only avenue to escape open to Maya. The only way that Maya could disappear from the inner temple.
I don't believe you. A stupid little girl like that, who has never been out in the real world, she could never have come up with a plan like that.
What do you mean? Maya has been in the real world. She's been with us for ages. She's seen countless murder cases. Her sister died right in front of her. She's been in the real world.
Who could have given her that brilliant idea?
Well, could have been Mia. Me, of course. But Mia! I really don't like when you use pearls, but I'm glad you're here. Took you long enough, honestly. I wanted you here ages ago, but Ghost Tits is back.
Mia Fey?
It's been a long time, Dahlia Hawthorne. Goda's like, oh, that's my ex. Oh, shit. So it's true. It was you.
Yes.
Huh. You're something else.
But what? What are you doing here?
That hair. It's pearls, right?
Tell me something, Dahlia.
I want you to think back to that night one more time. Oh, did Pearls hear everything in the courtroom and she ran in with Mia? Oh, no. Pearls, you poor little thing. You had just cornered Maya at the Inner Temple's garden. And then, in the final moments, of the fight, you lost consciousness.
I was stabbed by Maya Fey.
Actually, Maya lost consciousness at the same time as you.
She did? Not terribly surprising, since she was about to be killed.
When she woke up, she was in the training hall. That's when Maya decided she needed help. So she channeled me. She explained in a memo the situation she was in. She asked me what I thought she should do.
She did that? I can't believe it.
Of course, I didn't have all the details. But one thing was perfectly clear.
And that was?
I knew that you couldn't be allowed to wander free. Free? What do you mean? It was a race against time, so I wrote down 2 things that Maya had to do. Channel Dahlia Hawthorne as soon as possible, and lock herself in the sacred cavern until help arrived. So it was Maya who put the lock on there. Oh, we figured it out, baby!
Yes, but why did you order her to do those 2 things?
If she hadn't done it, Dahlia Hawthorne would have been channeled by someone else. By one Pearl Fey. Pearls! Yes, Pearl didn't properly understand the plan, so all she was trying to do was follow her mother Morgan Fey's instructions. If she had succeeded in channeling Dahlia Hawthorne's spirit, things would have turned out very badly, to put it mildly.
Well, that's how it was. Dahlia Hawthorne would have used the body of Pearl Fey to kill Maya at all costs. Yes, it certainly sounds like that it was the intent all along.
You know, the judge really gave up trying to understand all this. I think maybe he finally understands that this stuff isn't fake. Maybe. Because even at the end of the Kirain trial, he was still, like, out of his mind, like, what the fuck just happened? But now he's like,
Yeah, you know what, ghost titties, whatever, yeah, it's real, sure.
And it makes sense. I mean, Phoenix's fucking assistants keep turning into a like 28-year-old dead lawyer, so, you know, it's pretty obvious that it is real.
How dare you? I won't forget this.
Why not just admit it, Dahlia Hawthorne? Your little plan was nothing but a big failure.
Yes. Another failure to add to the pile of shame, wouldn't you say? Oh, what do you mean by another?
Think about it, Dahlia. Remember all your past crimes? Not a single one of them was a success. They all ended in failure.
How dare you?
11 years ago. The fake kidnapping. Your very first crime. You got your hands on a $2 million diamond, but... After Terry Falls escaped and went to meet with Valerie Hawthorne, the truth was exposed.
Just shut your mouth! That wasn't my fault! It was because of that stupid oaf of a prisoner and that weakling of a policewoman.
And then, 1 year later, you tried to kill me. Well, I'm still alive, but... You wound up killing someone else. As a result, you were sentenced to death. It's one stupid move after another for you, but it's no longer funny.
You wipe that smug, happy-go-lucky smile off your face!
And now this! You've messed up again. You let Maya Fey escape, even though she was right there in front of you.
Mia Fey! Mia Fey! Mia Fey! You spinster! I was supposed to kill Mia Fey like I swore I would! If only you'd gotten this spiky-haired jerk the guilty verdict! I wouldn't have hanged her to death!
True. But I think you finally understand, Dahlia Hawthorne. You will never defeat me.
What? What did you say?
Whether you're alive, dead, or somewhere in between, you will never defeat me. As long as I'm around, you're destined to lose for all eternity. Okay, Mia? Girl boss moment. I get it, you know, that's awesome and all, you know, go you. She's in Maya's body. Let's not forget that. She can still do damage to us. I don't know, she can strangle herself, she can punch her, I don't know, she can do something. She can bash her head against the table, give Maya some brain damage. We should be careful here is what I'm saying. Maybe get her in, like, a straitjacket or something. I don't know. Anything? Protection? Somebody? Anyone? Is anyone listening? This is crazy! I remember what you said earlier in the trial. You said there was no way we could punish you, because you were already dead.
What about it?
Then you said, even when the body dies, the spirit, the ego, it lives on forever. That's very true, Dahlia. The bailiffs will shoot her to death, but Maya! And that's exactly the punishment you'll never escape from. For all of eternity, you will remain as Dahlia Hawthorne, a miserable, pathetic, weak creature who can never win at anything. And for you, there's no escape from that, no hope for freedom. Since the day you were executed, the narrow bridge that once stretched out in front of you has burnt to a crisp.
You're wrong! It can't be! How could I lose to the likes of you?
It no longer matters. I don't care whether you win or lose anymore. The only thing I want is for you to come out of Maya's body right now! Whoa.
I'm not ready. Not ready to go. Nick, sis. Oh my god, they even her fucking collapsed.
Well, well, that wasn't much of a fight, was it? It was more of a battering. Jesus. I assume you are the real Iris?
Yes, I was just rescued from the sacred cavern.
I must say, you and your twin sister are indeed identical from what I can see. In any case, it appears that everything has finally been cleared up. Mr. Godot, what happened to Dahlia Hawthorne?
If you ask me, Your Honor, it looks like she went back to the hell she came from.
Seems that Misty Faye wasn't the only victim of this crime. Maya Faye as well as the young Pearl Faye were also victims of this wicked and selfish plan.
Yes, Your Honor.
The tragedy of Medium Valley has finally come to an end, it seems. It would be best for everyone if no further attempt was made to channel that spirit again.
Your Honor?
Yes, what is it?
About this whole spirit medium thing. It's almost weird how comfortable you seem to be with the concept now. Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Well, to be frank, my younger brother is quite judgmental. He often criticizes me for not studying hard enough. And that's why I made a concentrated effort to study up on the Curain channeling technique.
Hey, isn't that the New Year's issue of Occult?
I've seen quite a few things in my many years on the bench. And in all that time, I finally learned this one thing. Each case is different, and takes place in its own world, if you will. In order to fully understand that world, first we have to immerse ourselves in it completely. And that's where my brother and I used to differ.
Never thought of it that way.
At any rate, it's time to pass judgment in the case of Iris of Hazakura Temple.
Objection!
What do you have to say, Godot? You're a little bit too fast with that gavel, Your Honor.
What do you mean by that, Mr. Godot?
This trial, it isn't over yet. Oh, shit. The battle ain't over yet. Okay. What? Trad? Remember what Miss Evil Spirit said in her testimony? Huh? Dahlia's testimony? Well, Maya's safe. I don't fucking care what happens now. Iris can die for all I can. No, Iris is fine. I like Iris a lot, actually. I don't think she probably won't make any more appearances, but, you know. Maybe. Yeah, maybe. And they both fainted. So who killed Miss Elise Donham? Maybe she killed herself. Oh wait, no, wait. Does that work? I don't know. Oh no, wait, hold on. Hold the phone! She was stabbed from behind, so someone else was there. Did Pearl stab her? Okay, let's see. Pearls was there. So, as much as I don't want to incriminate Pearls, she was there. I don't think it's her, by the way, but she was there. Dahlia got removed from Elise at that moment. We know that. Or Misty. It doesn't help that she's still Elise Donham as in the yellow text. So... Well, over there at the time, it was only Pearl, Misty. It was only Pearl, Misty, and Maya. Obviously, Misty had Dahlia in her. Then got removed. Oh my god. What happened? Just as Dahlia Hawthorne was about to attack Maya, she was stabbed and killed by someone else. And that's why she went unconscious. She didn't go unconscious. Her host got killed.
Yes, that's right. The person that was ultimately killed was the spirit medium that channeled Dahlia. Elise Donham. No, Misty Faye. But who killed her? We still don't know who did it.
This isn't over?
I'm just glad Maya's
recovering.
unless someone else is found guilty. The accused is still on trial. Can't let her walk until there's evidence that proves her innocence.
No way.
But this court isn't prepared for any further testimony. Prosecution's ready to call out our final witness. Final witness? This one will clear up the whole mystery. The mystery of who killed Misty Faye. Indeed.
He's not gonna call out Maya, is he?
Is it really all right, Mr. Prosecutor?
Of course it's all right, Madam Attorney. Very well then. Who's the final witness? Isn't it obvious? There's one person who saw the whole event will put the final dagger in this case. Someone who saw the murder take place? The very person who saw her mother killed in front of her own eyes.
You mean Maya? You can't. She can't testify after what she's been through.
We need to find the truth. Prosecution calls Maya Faye to the witness stand.
We haven't even been able to kiss and make up yet.
I think you mean make out, Nick.
But first we'll take a brief recess. We'll have to wait for Miss Faye to recover before summoning her. Once we receive the doctor's permission, we will proceed with the trial. Hey, Trent, I've got something to say to you, so listen up. Fuck you.
What is it?
I don't think much of you as a lawyer. It's always the same with you. You somehow manage to squeak by without even a faint understanding of the case. Some beautiful woman always seems to come dashing in at last minute to save you.
You've got some nerve.
That's not going to happen this time. This time, you're going to have to do this by yourself. That's enough! This court is now in recess.
I'm truly sorry about everything. You were working so hard to defend me, but I was missing all day and we didn't even have the chance to talk.
That wasn't your fault. You got fucking locked in a cave. She's right. When I met Iris at the training hall yesterday, they had already switched places, and Iris was still in the sacred cavern.
I wanted to at least be in the defendant's box today to root you on.
Well, it wasn't your fault. You were locked up the whole time. There's something more important than that, though. I have to ask you. Why did you help your sister out as much as you did?
Huh?
If you had tried to get help at the sacred cavern yesterday, you wouldn't have spent an entire day locked up in there.
My sister. I felt bad for her. She was abandoned by her mother and never got any love from our father either.
Yeah, but it was the same for you too, wasn't it?
Yes, but at least I had Sister Bikini, who was like a mother to me. If only Dahlia had come with me to Hazakura Temple. I always loved her.
Oh.
Dahlia was always so smart, so strong. She never complained about a thing.
Oh, that's so sad. You talking about the fake kidnapping case 11 years ago?
Yes. I wanted to be useful to her in some way. But, as usual, I was too cowardly. At last minute, I ran away. Because of that, Dahlia's stepsister, Valerie, ended up...
That was the case that wounded Mia so badly.
But things didn't end there, of course. Some people suspected that my sister was involved in the murder.
What's her secret, though? Did we ever find out the secret about Wright from Iris? Because Iris did have something involved with us. Is it gonna be revealed that, like, I don't know, that Dahlia, like, switched places with her so she would be the one to fuck Wright when, you know, he eventually was like, you know, it's been 3 months, so, you know, we've had, like, 10 dates at this point, you know, I mean. And she switched with Iris. No, that's so silly. That can't be it. They wouldn't go that far. But it does seem like Iris had a little bit of a crush on Phoenix. At least, like, a little bit. Some people, you must mean...
Yes, 2 defense attorneys. Mia Fey and Diego Armando. After poisoning Mr. Armando, who was getting too close to learning the truth, Dahlia even tried to kill the person who had unknowingly hid the poison for her. You.
That's right. Iris, there's one more thing I have to ask you.
Yes, what is it?
On the night of the murder, the person that cleaned up the corpse of the victim, at least Donham, was it really you?
Yes, it was me. That night, after I rang the lights out bell, I went back to my room. At around 10:30, I received a call on my cell phone. I got on the snowmobile and headed for the inner temple, but the path to the inner temple was cut off.
Oh, the path to the inner temple was cut off, right? That would make sense. But it's a little, I don't know. It's a little weird. That was kind of more of a joke, but I mean, it is a possibility. She has seemingly a crush on Wright. There's a secret that he doesn't know about. She blushes. She gave us the hood. She seems to have a lot of admiration for us at the same time. Did I hit the nail on the head by accident? Make it a joke? Because it would be interesting. Why would Phoenix stay with somebody who's, you know, seemingly hates him, wouldn't, like, touch him for 8 months? You know, that doesn't make too much sense. Like, there had to be plenty of dates and romantic moments. Can't imagine Iris would actually go through with that. But, I mean, again, she could have just completely pretended. That's not completely out of the realm of possibilities either. We can't just leave the body here. So you've got to do this exactly as I say. Got it?
It was me. I was the one that received her body. The murder weapon had been left in her body so much she wouldn't bleed too much. The staff that Mystic Elise always held.
I knew it. So the actual murder weapon was the staff.
Yes, that's right. I brought the body back to Hazakura Temple on the snowmobile.
But why? Why'd you alter the body?
I didn't want anyone to know that the staff was the murder weapon. I didn't want to leave anything that would lead back to Misty Faye. So I dressed her in a robe and stabbed her with the Shuchishito. I wiped the blood off the staff's blade and left it next to the ground.
Iris, just tell me one last thing. Tell me the name of the person that called you, your phone. The real killer.
I'm sorry, Mr. Wright. I can't do it. I can't say who did it.
Why not? It would make it so much easier. I see. Is it Pearl? No. Who was it? Was it Gumshoe? Defendant!
Yes?
The judge is calling you. He wants to see you in his chambers. He has some questions about Dahlia Hawthorne. No locks for some reason, though. Maybe she doesn't know herself?
Alright. Well then, I'll see you later. There's something I want to tell you.
Oh. Okay. Something she wants to tell me? Bit of a plot hole, if you will. Well, I'm glad I said she probably doesn't know before you. Interesting. She doesn't know. That could be another translation error, though, to be fair. You know, to them. Like, especially with this remake. I don't know about the other ones, if it's, like, unchanged from the DS remake. But, you know, 3 games. There's a lot of dialogue, because the game is all dialogue, so... You know who it is? Okay. Well, don't say it. Quickly, just don't say it. We'll all figure it out together, alright? Iris cooperated with the real killer. Yeah, Big Boss can cooperate, because he knows the things. Maybe even from the very beginning. Phoenix. It was me. I murdered her. I hated my mother. She was a coward. Mia! How's Maya doing? Physically, I'm not worried. She'll recover completely. But emotionally, she's been hurt very badly by this case. I see. You don't mean she's learned who Elise Donham really was? Yeah, I went to the medical office and talked with her. I told her everything I knew. But why? Maya's stronger than you think. I knew she could take it. All of it. What do you mean by that? I want you to figure out the answer, that answer out by yourself. The trial's about to restart. The real killer. Do you know who it is yet? No, I don't. I don't know who it is yet. The only other person it could be is Pearl, but I don't want to believe that it's Pearl. Oh, I'm by the seat of my pants here. Iris wouldn't tell me who called her, but still. No, it can't be Pearl, because Iris would have known who Pearl is. So it had to be someone Pearl didn't know. Sorry, not Pearl. It had to be someone that Iris didn't know. Oh shit, Laser's right? Oh god. I don't know, I have no idea. I've got no clue. I can't think of it. Is it Edgeworth? Oh my god. Is it Bikini? Wait. She did go to the Inner Temple. I guess Bikini's someone else who could have done it. Maybe that bad back is all just a cover-up for the bad case of the kills. But at the point of when Maya was about to be killed and passed out... Someone had to have witnessed it and then went to protect her. Pearl would be down to protect Maya, 100%. She adores Maya. So, okay. But I could also see Bikini also doing that. But then there's also the question of why Misty even summoned Dahlia to begin with. That night, the victim was killed in the garden of the inner temple, and the criminal wasn't just there by accident, which means that the killer knew of Dahlia's plan from the very beginning. Was I right earlier? Is it Misty herself? Did she kill herself? I don't know. And one more thing. The victim was moved to Hazakura Temple's side by pendulum. In other words, the criminal couldn't cross the bridge. That means they were stuck on the inner temple side for almost an entire day. Exactly, so the culprit was someone that wasn't in Hazakura Temple the following day. Oh, right, so it can't have been... No, that rules out Bikini then. And that also rules out... Well... doesn't necessarily... I guess they're trying to rule out Misty with that. Please, it can't be Pearl. That's as much as I can give you. The rest of the battle is yours to win. Or lose. Oh, shit. Okay, I've got it. Thank you, Mia. I don't got it. I don't got it. Mia, it's almost time to bring this case to an end. What exactly did Maya see, anyway? And who was it that actually killed Misty Faye? Whoever it was, I have to prove it. Me, all by myself. That's what I was just trying to do. I was trying to logicalize it in my head. Ah, that beautiful little thing. Okay. Alright, one more time. I'm gonna go one more time. So, Maya, Pearl, Misty, and Bikini all were at the inner temple that night. Bikini went back because of her bad back. And for some reason, Misty was summoning Dahlia. Which I'm pretty sure she knew about the plan. I'm sure it was Misty that found it out. The letter, because it was open once before. I'm pretty sure it was you. Maybe it was Maya. Yeah, no, don't give me anything. I'm guessing because of all this, I don't have it right yet. Well, I'm glad Laser got it, at least. At least I got the other points. At least I figured out the other mysteries. Alright, I'm gonna just keep going. Fuck it.
Now then, before we proceed any further, I'm going to announce the results of the tests we had performed earlier.
Tests?
Yes, tests. On the bloody dagger that was found stuck into the pine tree.
Oh yeah, that! I totally forgot about that. That's the weapon that Ma Fei used when she fought with the victim. So what are the results? Was it the victim's blood, or...?
Due to time constraints, a full test wasn't even possible, but however, there's one thing that we can say certainly. The blood was on the dagger was not the victim's blood. That is all. Now then, let's restart this trial.
Oak light. So it's not the victim. So that's not what the victim was stamped with. Interesting. So that's probably Maya's blood. Wait, no. Actually, I don't know if we know that Maya was hurt. So it wasn't Misty's blood on the dagger. And whose was it?
Sure, both the defense and prosecution know this, but this trial is rapidly coming to a close. Both sides will need to show some firm evidence with their cases.
I understand, Your Honor. From what I heard, the witness is dangerously weak, physically speaking, so let's finish this quickly. Agreed.
Very well. Please bring in the last witness.
Oh, Maya. Witness, please tell us your name and profession.
Maya Fey. My profession is, I'm the assistant manager at Wright & Co. Law Offices.
Maya.
According to the magazine I have here, you're a spirit medium of the Curain channeling technique.
I'm frightened. The Fey clan, I don't want any more to do with it.
Oh, Maya. The pain the Fey bloodline causes must be unbearable.
Very well. Now then, Miss Fey, when the event occurred, you were in the garden of the Inner Temple, correct? And you witnessed the moment of Miss Elise Donham's murder. Is this correct?
I didn't see anything.
Straighten up this instant, young lady.
Huh? I've had my body been taken over for literally like 48 hours.
Pick your head up and speak clearly. There's always time for crying later.
But
Your mother was killed right in front of your eyes. There's nothing you can do to change that fact. Jesus, Godot! But there's something you can do. You can finish this. You've been watching this whole thing, right? You've seen the witnesses come out as you've seen us squeeze the truth out of them. Now it's your turn. Let's hear your testimony. On the night of the crime, what exactly did you see happen?
Witness, if you please.
Yes, Your Honor.
Alright, Maya.
I was passing through the garden on the way to the spare prep room when it happened. Suddenly, someone struck me over the head. I stumbled and ended up against the stone lantern. I think I screamed, "Help me!" And then something warm splashed over me. That's when I lost consciousness.
Okay, so she got bonked. Bonk! She got bonked by Dahlia. Stumbled dazed, screamed help. She didn't really... Well, I guess we're gonna have to press her. But I don't think Maya would ever lie, especially here, but obviously she's dazed, so memory's a little... And, you know, the person who stabbed Dahlia...
So you were struck on the head. Suppose it must have been with this staff.
Maya, the person who hit you, it was Dahlia Hawthorne, wasn't it?
I'm sorry, Nick. I just couldn't see. I don't know who it was.
Maya, think hard.
Sorry, Nick, but I really couldn't.
Can't say it was an especially good night for young ladies to be walking around alone.
It seems that it will be hard to determine the criminal through testimony alone. Very well then, Mr. Wright. Please begin your cross-examination.
Maya, hang in there. See Maya on the witness stand for the first time? Oh, it's my favorite. She doesn't look well at all.
I was passing through the garden on the way to a spare prep room when it happened.
God. Now there's even more pressure now that the Laser and, well, Big Boss already has known for ages, but the fact that Laser knows it now, there's a bunch more pressure. Who else was on the Inner Temple side that night?
Well, Sister Bikini, of course. I remember her saying that Iris would be coming in later as well.
The day after the incident, Edgeworth met Bikini at Hazakura Temple. That means she couldn't be the criminal. So then, did Iris actually come later like she said?
Well, let me think.
She seems confused. It's probably because she's so tired.
No, I'm sure I didn't see her. She must have come while I was preparing for the training.
Ah. Who did it? Who hit you?
Well, I didn't see who it was. I was hit from behind.
You didn't see the person? But after that, your attacker was in front of you. How could you not see who it was?
Oh, let me think for a sec. I'm sorry, I just can't remember.
I was really having a hard time. What should I do? No, I don't really want to press her harder, but I can't let my biases win. Come on, Maya. This isn't making sense. Why didn't you see this person?
Well, let me think. It was, Oh, yeah, that's right! It was dark, that's it!
It was dark.
It's not good to have much light around when someone's undergoing spiritual training.
Come to think of it, there was an earlier testimony to that effect as well. So it was dark in the garden of the night of the crime.
Which is why she didn't see her attacker. I thought maybe she was trying to hide something, but I guess not.
Judging by the testimony thus far, the identity of the attacker was most likely
The spirit that was channeled by Elise Donham. Dahlia Hawthorne. Have I been saying Donham right this whole time, by the way, Big Boss? I don't know if I ever got that answered. Is that how you say it? It sounds right now, but maybe that's because I've said it so much. That seems right to me. But I don't know. It's a type of name I've never really seen before. You've heard it a lot of different ways? Okay. I do like Donham, though.
Very well. Please continue with your testimony. What happened after you were struck on the head?
What happened afterwards?
My attacker was in front of me, blocking off my escape, I think.
You think?
After getting hit like that, I was in a state of panic. There were only two things rolling around in my mind at the time.
Well now, this is beginning to get interesting.
So what are the two things rolling around in your mind?
My name is Maya Fey. 1 + 1 = 2. What? You see, for some crazy reason, I was afraid I was going to lose my memory. I know it's odd, considering my life was in danger, but that's how it was.
That's not hard at all. Your actions are understandable, given the circumstances. So, what did you do then?
I think I screamed, "Help me!"
You think you screamed, but you're not sure?
Listen, I was a complete wreck. It was dark and I couldn't see my attacker. Was it a man, a woman, an adult, a child? I had no idea. I was scared out of my wits.
Believe me, my dear, I'm certain I would have soiled my robes, like I have done multiple times during this trial. It just keeps getting better and better.
I thought this person might attack me, so I... Anyway, I'm pretty sure I screamed. I thought that was my last hope.
Oh, it sounds like poor little Maya was really out of her mind. I wonder what she meant by last hope. What do I do? Do I press her for more details? Wait a minute, Maya. What's this my last hope stuff?
What? What do you mean by your last hope?
No. That's what you said. You said my last hope.
Huh? What? I said what?
Look, you were facing an attacker that you couldn't see and you screamed, right? You screamed, "Help me."
Yeah?
But you testified that you screamed that because you thought it was your last hope.
Oh, well, you know, that's like... What do you call it when that happens?
Mine's not doing so well up there.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's right! I remember now. I was facing my attacker, but that's not who I was screaming at.
What'd you just say?
Yeah, that's right. It was the person behind my attacker that I was yelling at. That was who I was screaming to for help. Ah!
What's it now?
I messed up. I didn't mean to let that slip out.
What?
Witness, are you absolutely sure about what you're saying? Behind the attacker there was another person?
I am, well, I had to keep that part a secret. What have I done?
It takes a ton of pressure to make a diamond. That's what I always say.
A ton of pressure.
You're in a court of law. You can't make things up or try to hide things in this chamber. Coming from the prosecution who's done all of those things, it's a little bittersweet hearing that.
Witness, the information you just presented is vital to the case. I want you to add it to your testimony.
I could see a man behind the attacker. By the light of the stone lantern. A man! Interesting! Was it me? Did Phoenix do it? Was it me? Or maybe it was Godot. He was missing. Wait, he was missing. He wasn't there on the trial, and they just said, oh, we couldn't find him or whatever. Maybe? A man? Who was this man?
Well, you see, I couldn't see.
Couldn't see? She used this excuse twice now.
Well, you know, lantern light isn't very bright.
Lantern light, did you say?
It's a great big stone lantern in the garden. They always light it when the acolyte's there for training. Hey, you know what they say? Under the lantern, darkness reigns. So I couldn't see the person that was further away, but not my attacker who was closer. Plus, there weren't any other light sources in the garden at the time.
Something warm splashed over you. You don't mean, was it?
I didn't know it at the time, but I think it was probably blood.
She's saying that's when Miss Donham, who was channeling Dahlia, was stabbed in the back by the real killer?
At that moment, I was paralyzed with fear. I was just sitting there in the snow. I'm sure blood got on everything around me. That's when I lost consciousness.
I've worked side by side with Maya for 2 years now. You can tell when she's trying to hide something by how she acts. And right now, I'm absolutely certain she's hiding something. Was it me? Was it Phoenix? He did fall down the bridge, but... is that what happened? No, we got recovered from the river. I guess that is how it happened. But that would explain why Maya's trying to cover for us. And it would be a crazy twist. What happened next?
I don't remember.
How were you saved? You don't remember that?
No, I haven't got any idea. I really don't know what happened at all.
That's too bad. Oh god. Okay. A man. Okay, so what man could have been over there? We were with Wright the whole time, because we are Wright, and we didn't get over there. And also, we're not an option to present. Could it have been Larry? No, it wasn't Larry. He only woke up after the bridge was struck. So that leaves Godot. Can't be Gumshoe. It wasn't even there. It just leaves Godot. He's the only man I know of. Him or me. Oh my god, am I really gonna just fucking present them? I don't know. I guess I might be. Okay, nope. It's gotta be this statement, right? Because we got it added. So surely it's this one. Tracks photo, crime photo. Horrible sketch of what he saw the night of the crime. Has blood on it, came from the victim's staff. Found stuck in the pine tree. The blood doesn't match the victim's. It was that. It was. I was like, okay, so if she's there, then who wrote Maya? So there was a man standing behind your attacker?
Yeah.
That man, he's the killer. He stabbed her from behind. He's the one who killed Elise Donham, otherwise known as Misty Faye, your mother.
The killer.
Maya, you know who killed your mother, don't you?
What's the meaning of this, Mr. Wright?
To be frank, Your Honor, I think she's in shock and quite confused. That's why she hasn't noticed the huge problem with her testimony.
Huh? What do you mean? What problem?
Maya, on the night of the crime, that stone lantern was out of commission. Oh, that too.
Huh? What?
It's true. There was no light anywhere in the garden that night.
No!
Order in the court, Mr. Godot, explain this.
Add the pureness of milk to the perfect clear darkness of coffee. Stir. That's the state of the witness's mind right now. A cup of cafe a lot.
Cafe au lait? Is that even legal?
Mr. Trout's words are the milk and you are the spoon, Your Honor.
I'm a spoon? I'm no spoony bard, I'll have you know. I am the big spoon, if any.
You must have noticed it too, Trout. This witness's mental state is highly unstable right now. It's not hard to understand why she would make a little mistake like that. Sorry, but that's not gonna cut it. What'd you say? If there truly was no light in the garden, then there's a fatal contradiction in the witness's last bit of testimony.
Nick.
May I? Recall the witness's statement about her attacker. She said that she didn't know if it was a man or a woman, an adult or a child. And yet, the witness could describe a person that was standing behind her attacker, and she quite clearly described him as a man.
Ah!
In other words, that would mean that Maya actually saw our mystery person, despite it being so dark that she couldn't see the face of her own attacker.
No! Nick, you got it all wrong! I mean, that's crazy!
What in the world does this mean? Are you saying Miss Faye saw the real killer under pitch black conditions?
Objection.
Trout, do you have any idea what you're proposing? How could she have possibly seen in the dark? There was no other light source at the scene. There's some things that you can only see in the dark, Mr. Godot. Maya, you did see who the killer was in the dark, and now you're trying to cover for him.
Cover? For the man that killed her mother?
There's only one conclusion I can draw from this. You know who this man is.
Is it me? Please, Nick. I don't know anything. Please, I'm begging you.
Huh. You talk a good game, Try. Let's see if you can walk the walk. It was pitch black, so what could the witness see? I'm calling your bluff.
No, Nick, don't! Please, stop!
Maya's dead set on protecting this guy. The guy who murdered Maya's long-lost mother. But I can't let him get away with it. I'm a lawyer, an officer of the court. I'm here to find the truth.
All right, Mr. Wright, time to show us what you got. Who was this person that Faye saw in the darkness?
Can I actually incriminate myself? I think it was probably his funny head doodad. But I wonder if I can... Can I put my badge for the anything unique?
Looks like you've proven a well-known fact. The fact that people can't really see in the dark.
Okay, no, nothing unique. But why would she be trying to cover for Godot? Because it was pitch black, Miss Faye was able to recognize the killer easily. I'm sure the court would like to see for itself how this is possible, yes?
What? How do you propose to show us something like that?
It's easy. We just need to recreate the conditions of that night.
Conditions?
Your Honor, the defense officially requests that all the lights in this courtroom be turned off.
What? This is... but it can't be!
That was a nice bit of deduction. Tried. Godot's name backwards is Two Dog. But why, Godot? Revenge? Well, everyone, this is the man Maya saw on the night of the murder.
Order! 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 Prosecutor Godot! What's the meaning of this? Surely you must be shocked to hear yourself accused of such a thing. Why aren't you denying it?
Your Honor, you're asking the wrong person.
What do you mean by that?
If you got a question, ask the witness. That's one of my rules. Well, Maya, how about it? What you saw that night? Was it 3 glowing red lights?
Well, witness, answer the question.
You're wrong. I never saw that.
But Maya!
I thought the person that stabbed my mother was a man. For a totally different reason.
What?
But witness, Mr. Wright, what the...
Stop your chattering. Your Honor.
Chattering?
If it's worth asking, ask the witness. That's one of my rules.
All right. Well then, let's continue with the testimony then.
Okay, so it is Godot.
Please tell us how you knew the killer was a man.
Yes, Your Honor. I didn't realize it up until after I woke up, but... When I came to, I was there lying on the training hall floor. By the time I got back to the garden, the place had totally changed. Torches were lit, and the body was gone. All the snow around the stone lantern had been carefully cleaned up, too.
Oh, things are gonna get spicy? Okay. Ooh, alright.
Since the person did all that work alone, I assumed it was a man.
Well, that's a little sexist, Maya. Especially when you have such a girl boss sister. Come on.
So it was after the crime took place that the witness came to think the killer was a man.
Yes, that's right. I'm sorry, Your Honor,
No need to apologize. It's as Mr. Godot says, you're utterly exhausted. It's only natural that you'd be a little confused. Also, if you consider the situation you described, it doesn't seem too much of a stretch to assume the culprit was a man. Mr. Wright, please proceed with the cross-examination.
Do you have hot sauce? I mean, I do.
When I came to, I was lying on the training hall floor.
So you lost consciousness when you were in the garden, is that right?
Yes, I think it happened when the victim was stabbed.
So then the person that carried you into the inner temple...
Could only have been the killer.
That's what I think too.
So the killer carried Maya into the inner temple.
The time I got back to the garden, the place had totally changed.
Naturally, the killer must have done it, right?
Yeah, I think so.
But why would the killer tamper with the crime scene like that? There must have been something that the killer desperately wanted to hide.
I don't know.
Looks like she doesn't have enough confidence. I think I need to gather some more information before I ask her again. Okay, so I gotta press that again. The torches were lit.
Yep, that's how I noticed the whole scene had changed.
I'm gonna say it was the killer who lit the torches. I mean, who else could it be?
Killer probably lit them, since it'd be impossible to do any cover-up work in the dark. However, if that's true, there's one thing that still bothers me. Why'd the killer go to the effort of moving the body?
That's true. It's hard to see how that would be of any advantage to the killer. The only one who would gain anything from that would be the only person that was at the inner temple, Maya.
Very well, let me hear some more about the condition of the crime scene.
And all the snow around the stone...
Be carefully cleaned up. All the snow that would have blood on it, I'm guessing. So you're saying the killer cleaned up the snow? It did look really odd. Snow was removed in an unnatural-looking rectangular shape around the lantern.
There were a lot of shovels around the inner temple. But they're all really heavy and way too heavy for me to use.
An odd fellow indeed, this killer. Why on earth would anyone take the snow away?
There's one thing I can think of. Didn't you say a lot of the victim's blood sprayed onto the snow?
Yeah, the area I collapsed in ended up being splattered.
In other words, the killer's purpose was to hide the bloody snow. I think that's the most reasonable explanation.
Perhaps. However, there's something that's still bothering me. The killer just wanted to hide the snow with blood on it. There was no need to remove that amount.
That's true. He could only have scooped up with the... He could have scooped up just the snow that was stained with blood.
Looks like there were some mysteries behind this issue.
But I think this will help explain them.
So you're saying that you never saw the killer, right?
Yes.
But earlier you very clearly stated that you saw a man behind your attacker.
Nick, I'm sorry.
The killer certainly went through a lot of trouble. Moving the body by pendulum, manipulating the crime scene. But for what purpose?
But for what purpose?
Why do all of that? Maybe Maya knows more than she's letting on. Oh, whoops. So I've got to ask her again. On what? This one?
Yes, that's how I noticed that the whole scene had changed.
Very well, let me hear some more about the condition of the crime scene.
Was it this one? Ah. Didn't you say that a lot of the... Yep. Uh-huh. No. So, was it... this one, then? Because that was a lot of info.
The truth is, when I saw the crime scene, I felt something.
Okay, here we go. You did?
Yes. I felt like the killer was hiding the evidence from me. For my sake.
What? Hiding it for you?
Everyone knew that I was the only one at the inner temple that night. Sister Bikini had come back and looked at the garden.
She may have thought that you had done it.
No, she definitely would have thought so. And you're saying that that's why the killer cleaned up the crime scene to make it look like nothing had happened?
Yes, I'm sure of it.
Well, that's certainly an important piece of information. I want you to add that to your testimony.
Yes, Your Honor.
They did it all for your sake?
Well, if the body and the blood hadn't been removed, I would have immediately been the prime suspect, right?
Yes, I suppose that's true.
And yet if that happened, the body would have caused some other problems too. If her real identity had come out right then, it would have been terrible. Master of Curian killed by own daughter. I don't think Maya would have been able to handle it.
But still, it's rather difficult to fathom the killer's motives. What reason is there to go through that much trouble to protect you?
Okay, for your sake. I'm guessing it's this because we had to do a double take to get that. So what would... It's for your sake. Oh, no, no, no. The contradiction is it wasn't for her sake, it was for Mia's? Because he was acting on behalf of Mia because... No. Does it want me to just... choke Godot again? Wrong again, asshole! Could have cleaned up the evidence. Oh, wait! Well, he didn't clean up all the evidence. The body of Elise Donham was carried all the way to the Hazakura Temple courtyard. Then at the garden, the real scene of the crime, snow that we suspect was covered in blood was scooped up and removed. It's reasonable to believe all this was done in an attempt to hide the truth of the crime scene. However, there's still one matter that seems somewhat odd.
Oh? And what would that be?
You must have figured it out by now, Mr. Godot. It's the message written in blood on the lantern. Because he couldn't see it. He couldn't see it! He forgot. It was written very clearly on the white stone lantern. Maya. Ah. If the killer was so motivated to protect Maya from suspicion, then why didn't they wipe the writing off the lantern?
You're right! Order, order, order! But Mr. Wright, isn't it a fact that the killer was trying to cover up the scene?
Indeed, but it doesn't make much sense to move the body and remove the bloody snow. Then not wipe off the most incriminating thing of all, the bloody writing.
Objection!
But if that's the case, do you have an explanation for the killer's mysterious behavior?
Oh, I do.
Why would the killer move the body and remove all that snow, but then leave the bloody writing on the lantern?
I don't know what the killer's plan was, but it's a fact that the killer left the writing on the lantern. There must be a reason for it. I mean, it's because of your little doodad on your face, buddy. You revealed that to us yourself. Prosecutor Godot, earlier in this trial, you gave me some good advice. Once you eliminate the impossible, whatever remains must be the truth.
Maybe you're not as dumb as I thought.
The real killer wanted to disguise the fact that a crime had occurred there. If that's the case, they wouldn't have left the bloody writing on the stone lantern on purpose. Therefore, it must mean they didn't notice it.
But that doesn't make any sense. The torches were all lit and everything. There's no way any normal person could miss something as glaring as that.
You're right. There's no way any normal person would.
What are you trying to say, Mr. Wright?
There's only one person involved in this incident who could have missed seeing the bloody writing altogether.
And who would that be?
Our very own Godot. Mr. Godot. This is what you said yesterday. My eyesight's pretty messed up. Even with these huge goggles on my head, I still can't see everything.
You can't see everything? Is that correct, Mr. Godot?
This lantern was submitted as evidence today. I would like the court to think back to the moment it was first presented. Yep, and he was completely just baffled. Mr. Godot, just admit it. There are certain colors you can't see, correct? You can't see red on a white background, can you? That's right. We went through this once before. During the poisoning case at Tribulations. This is the apron of the delightful Miss Bird was wearing at the time. Somehow spilled coffee on it. And he didn't notice the red! That's right! I thought he just knew it was ketchup. Ah. Oh, my sinus. Ah. You could see the coffee on the white apron, but you couldn't see the ketchup because it was red. He's strange. In a black and white photo, these letters would have appeared black to me. I wonder, why am I the only one that can't see them?
So then, Mr. Godot, are you admitting it? Are you admitting that you can't see the red writing on... red writing? Red writing on the lantern?
Hey, Gramps, didn't you know? That's the reason why I don't drink red tea. I wasn't sure about it until now, but I just can't believe it. Prosecutor Godot is the murderer. But there's no going back now. I finally figured out the truth. Mr. Godot, the defense at this time formally accuses you. You're the murderer of Miss Elise Donham, also known as Misty Fey.
It's hard to believe this may be true, however. Once again, Mr. Wright has brought up a disquieting fact about you.
Just make sure you don't fill out the indictment in red ink, Gramps. Who Mia's killer was? It was Mr. Red White. Oh, that's stupid. Mr. Red White. Oh my god, that's so dumb. But it's so genius at the same time. Come on. How does a little graffiti make me into a killer? Besides, it's not like it's my name that's written here. I'm certain that the killer wasn't able to see the color red. This is rich. Do go on, Trent. The answer's right there at the crime scene. In the snow.
The snow? How so?
Well, for example, why did the killer move all that snow? Your Honor, you said it yourself. If he wanted to hide the bloody snow, why not just take out that area? He was looking for the trinket.
Yes. Why did he just take that area? Could it be?
Yes, the killer couldn't see the red blood that had been seeped into the snow. And so he had to move all of the snow. Oh, right. He couldn't be sure of where the blood had landed, so he removed the whole area. Isn't it more likely that the killer couldn't see the blood because it was so dark? Not a chance. The torches were all lit. He would have been able to see just fine.
It seems that once again this trial has taken an unexpected turn, to say the least. Can you explain this, Mr. Godot?
Was that Maya?
Wait just a minute.
Maya!
What is it, witness?
Mr. Godot isn't the killer. After all, he didn't even come to the inner temple until 2 days after the murder took place. He didn't show up until after that old bridge got fixed up.
Objection.
Ma... You can't testify to something like that.
What do you mean? I may not look it, but I'm...
After the murder happened, you didn't even exist.
She didn't? I'm afraid I don't follow.
Are you senile, man? We just established this just a little while ago. After the murder, this witness was unconscious for a long time. Because she was channeling Dahlia Hawthorne.
Oh, that's right.
Please, Your Honor, let me add it to my testimony. Nick, please listen to me.
Maya, do you plan to cover for Godot no matter what the cost? If that's the case, then I've got no choice. Your Honor, let's hear her testimony. If it means we're gonna hear the whole truth, I say we should not silence her. Nicely done, Chad.
Very well. Let's hear the witness's testimony. Please tell us what happened at the inner temple after the murder.
Yes, sir. After I woke up, I began channeling, and my spirit left me, as it were. But little Pearlie was there at the inner temple, too. Pearlie was also stuck on the inner temple side that night. The next morning, she looked around but couldn't find anyone. The next day, when the bridge was finally fixed, she was in the spare prep room. That's when Mr. Godot arrived at the inner temple for the first time. He found Pearlie first and cheered her right up.
Who is this Pearlie?
Also, we found Pearlie first.
That's my little cousin, Pearl Faye.
So when did you hear about this?
Oh, just a while ago when I was in the medical office.
Terribly sorry. But what you heard from someone else is simply not admissible as testimony.
What? Come on, Pearlie would never tell a lie.
Oh, Pearl said that?
She's a way more honest person than I'll ever be.
Real smart, Maya. You always know the best things to say when you're under oath. The prosecution has no objection. We believe the witness.
Mr. Godot!
Let's just move on to the cross-examination if the defense has no objections.
Well, this is highly unusual, but, well, Mr. Wright?
Let's get this cross-examination started. Alright. So where do you think Pearl slept that night?
In the spare prep room next to the training hall, I guess. That's a rule that you can't enter the training hall during an acolyte's training.
But even so, why'd she go to the inner temple in the first place?
Seems that Pearls became very worried about Maya.
Do you know that spiritual training I was about to undergo was very intense?
Pearls was supposed to go channel Dahlia Hawthorne, but she couldn't do it. That's why she headed to the inner temple. However, Dahlia Hawthorne was already there, possessing the body of Elise Donham.
Next morning, she looked around but couldn't find anyone.
She searched the entire inner temple side, end to end.
Well, you see, Pearlie gets pretty scared when she's alone. And there weren't that many places to look. She says that she even went back and forth several times.
The inner temple side has two structures, this training hall and the spare prep room.
And there's also a storage shack, I think. That's about it.
There's a storage shack, too. Pearls was looking for other people, right? Would she have really examined the storage shack all that carefully?
Well, if it was me, that would be the first place I would go investigate.
That means it's possible that someone may have been hiding in the storage shack.
Ah, Mr. Godot! Were you in the shack? Pearls didn't hear the sound of them working on the bridge?
What do you mean?
I was just wondering why she would stay in the prep room. If it was me, I'd at least go out and wait on at the foot of the bridge.
Oh, well, Pearlie said she was sleeping at the time. She said she was so scared during the night that she couldn't sleep.
Okay, I need to blow my nose. This is ridiculous. It's hard to do voices when this is happening. Okay.
Poor little girl all alone like that.
Well, we know that she had at least one friend in the sacred cabin. Dahlia Hawthorne, who was busy battling with the trick lock. She couldn't let anyone see her, so she wouldn't have shown herself to Pearls. What happened after the bridge was finally fixed? So it was your first time in the on the Inner Temple side, Mr. Godot? That's funny. Am I imagining things, or did the defense ask me a question?
Mr. Wright, please save your questions for the witness.
What you heard from someone else is simply not admissible as testimony. Those are your words, Your Honor.
Touché, Mr. Wright. Oh, well, what do you have to say, Mr. Godot?
Hot nights and even hotter coffee. That's what I always say. If it hadn't have been for this case, I would never have visited there. A freezing cold temple in the mountains, I think I'll pass. So he had never visited Hazakura Temple or the Inner Temple, huh? You want to say something, Try? In any case, I have to find a crack in Godot's armor. While I cross-examine Maya, that is. He cheered her up?
That's what Pearlie said. She said he was a very nice older gentleman. Thank you for looking after my cousin, Mr. Godot.
And here I was thinking you were nothing more than a coffee addict.
Cut it out. You're making me blush. This guy's really beginning to get on my nerves. So he wasn't there, but he was there? But he isn't the killer, but he was. Truth is, there aren't that many places to look on the Inner Temple side. Policemen were all busy going over the garden with fine-tooth combs, so I decided to carry out an investigation in my own Godot style.
I'm the same way. I like to hand down my verdicts in my own way, judge style.
Maybe I should ask some questions, Phoenix style. You said that you conducted an investigation of your own. Did you find anything?
Looks like my investigation went about as well as yours, Trent.
And Laser likes doggy style. Oh. Classic. Or sorry, doji style.
So I did miss the bloody writing on the lantern.
Well, I didn't miss it, so speak for yourself, Goggles.
The only odd thing I discovered was the beauty in the training hall.
Beauty?
Misty Faye, naturally. Clad in her stunning Japanese garb, surrounded by the hue of aroma of Western taste.
What Western taste? Could he find a stranger way to describe gravy?
So from there you headed for the prep room?
Wait a sec. What did Godot say just now? I think I just found his proverbial weak spot. There's only one thing of any importance here. Where was Godot when the murder was taking place? He must have already been at Inner Temple when that happened. Otherwise, he couldn't have killed Elise on him. So where do you think Pearl's... Oh. Yes. Correct. So, Godot was hiding in the storage room. That seems to be what they're saying. Alright, let me just, press everything again, just in case. Pearls didn't hear the sound of them working on the bridge. So it was your first time on the Inner Temple side, Mr. Godot. Yeah. So you never visited Hazakura Temple or the Inner Temple, huh? It's just like I thought. Godot's lying. If his first visit to Inner Temple really was after the incident, he shouldn't know about that piece of evidence.
Very well, please go on with your testimony.
Oh yeah! He shouldn't know that this is Misty Faye because it's completely covered in gravy. He shouldn't know. He shouldn't know! Your gravy misfortune is upon you.
At fixing the bridge, the policeman came over to the Inner Temple side, right?
Do I just, like, plop it here? Hell yeah, we do! Mr. Godot. The first time you crossed Dusky Bridge and went into the Inner Temple was long before the murder took place.
Why do you say that?
Because he just made a fatal slip-up. Slit? Fatal slip-up. The hanging scroll in the training hall.
Hanging scroll?
But, Mr. Godot's right. That scroll shows a picture of my mother.
Maya, I know you know who it is, but here's something you didn't know. By the time the bridge had been repaired 2 days after the murder, the hanging scroll in the training hall looked like this.
What's that wonderfully delicious smell?
The morning after the crime, someone covered it with gravy.
Gravy? But why gravy, Nick?
Because gravy was much more than a condiment to the culprit. Well, Mr. Godot, if you really hadn't seen the hanging scroll until after the murder, you wouldn't have known. You would have had no way of knowing it was Misty Faye.
Wait a minute, Nick.
Yes?
Take another look at the hanging scroll. Look at the top. There's a crest there.
Ah, that. It's the mark of the master, correct?
Exactly. So if you know the meaning of the mark...
Then you could guess the picture was of Misty Faye.
True, but Mr. Godot described what was underneath like this. Clad in her stunning Japanese garb, surrounded by the hue and aroma of Western tastes.
Oh.
Yes, it's possible that he knew what the crest meant. However, he couldn't have known that she was wearing Japanese clothing. Mr. Godot, on the day of the murder, you were hiding at the Inner Temple long before the crime took place.
Can I ask you just one little thing, Trot?
What is it?
This whole theory of yours, it all rests on a certain assumption. That I knew beforehand that a crime was going to be committed.
Oh, he was the one who found the letter first. But how did you, when?
That's right. Otherwise, there's no reason for him to sneak onto the crime scene.
Of course Mr. Godot knew about the plan.
Huh?
What'd you say? But is it really possible that another person knew of the plan?
Thanks for putting it into perspective, Mr. Judge. This crime was actually planned over a year ago. Morgan Faye authored the plan for her daughter's future. And these instructions were hidden somewhere in Faye Manor for a year. However, by the time Little Pearls found these instructions, they had already been unsealed.
Unsealed?
Yes, the killer had read these instructions long before Pearls ever found them. That's how he knew the crime was to take place at the Inner Temple.
And you still insist that this crafty killer is me?
You bet I do.
But you just said that the instructions were hidden.
That's right. Mr. Godot couldn't have known where the instructions were that were hidden?
If he really wanted to know, he had one great chance to find out.
Yes, and when was that?
During a visit.
A visit?
Morgan Faye told her daughter Pearl about where the instructions were hidden. During one of her visits to the detention center. That would be the only time for someone to have learned where they were hidden.
Eavesdropping? On a visit at the detention center?
Yes, it could be arranged if you were someone with easy access in and out of there. Like, for example, a prosecutor such as Mr. Godot.
Order, order! Mr. Godot, you're under fire again!
This murder could not have been carried out without prior knowledge. And you were the only one that could have acquired this information before the murder.
How about any other prosecutor on this force? What about Mr. Edgeworth, Ever thought about him? Humans are afraid of the dark, and yet, at the same time, we're fascinated and bewitched by it. Maybe that's why humans drink the darkness that is the coffee.
Sorry for always asking, but what does that mean?
It means there's a reason for everything. According to your theory, the killer in this case eavesdropped on a conversation during a jail visit where he learned of a hidden plan for a crime. After discovering the plans, he hid in the inner temple and waited for the crime to occur. Then he ultimately took a person's life. And he did all of that just to protect this witness?
That's right.
You're accusing me of this crime. I have to ask you, why would I do this? This girl is nothing but a stranger to me. I've got no reason to go through that kind of trouble to protect her.
Ho 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 ho. Oh, you're sure? You're real sure about that, huh, buddy? Alright.
How much you see? And I'm certainly not the type to rescue a damsel in distress. The killer's behavior is certainly extreme, for lack of a better word. Even considering that the killer wanted to protect this witness's life. His behavior is still a little too unnatural.
However, you had a good reason, didn't you, Mr. Godot? An unshakable reason that forced you to protect this witness at all costs.
I knew it. You figured it out, haven't you, Nick?
Maya, I guess you were doing your best to cover for Mr. Godot. For the same reason, huh?
Okay, try. I'm all ears. Let's hear it.
It's very simple. Maya Fey is a lot more than a stranger to you.
Well, what's this?
There's one person who lies at the very center of this whole story. One person that ties you and Maya Fey together inextricably. Inextricably. There's a very good reason why Maya Fey's life is so precious to you. After all, she is Mia Fey's only sister.
Mia Fey.
You were once worked alongside her. That was when you were a defense attorney.
Wait a second here. Mr. Godot is a defense attorney?
With your honor's piercing intellect, you must have figured it out by now. The real name of this man who calls himself Godot. His real name is Diego Armando. Isn't that right?
Nope. It's actually Billy. Billy Bob Jones. The last time someone called me by that name was over 6 years ago. Diego Armando. That name does ring a bell.
It should, Your Honor. Of all this is related to a single case. A case in which a convict named Terry Falls killed himself. Mia Fey's first time in court, the tragic outcome left a deep wound in her heart. She knew that behind it all was a heartless, scheming demoness in disguise. But in the end, Mia couldn't tear off that disguise. However, there was one man who reached out to help her. Diego Armando, a senior defense attorney at the office where Mia worked.
Ho. I was moved by her. The way she put all her faith in her clients, that pure sweetheart of hers. That's why I could never forgive Dahlia Hawthorne. Me and I thoroughly investigated that fake kidnapping incident. Then one fateful day, Dahlia wanted to meet with me. It had been 6 months since the trial. We met in the courthouse cafeteria. I just remembered! 6 years ago, right here in this courthouse, you were poisoned! Even I didn't see it coming. Dahlia Hawthorne slipped some poison into my coffee. Some newspaper at the time called it a murder. But very little information about the case was released to the press.
But you weren't dead at all.
No official reports were ever actually, called it a murder. I was just in a deep, deep coma.
I see. Yep, I called it coma. My body shut down and my life became nothing but a long, deep sleep. That woman's poison did a real number on my central nervous system. I lost my sight, and all of my hair turned white due to the damage it caused.
That's terrible.
Apparently, it was a miracle that I ever regained consciousness. 5 years had passed since I drank that poison brew. Then one morning, my eyes flew open from the smell of a doctor's cup of coffee.
For 5 years? You were asleep for 5 years?
The worst possible news was waiting for me. Mia Fey was dead. From the very moment I opened my eyes, I had already lost everything I thought I had. The woman I loved had been murdered. And the woman I loathed had been sentenced to death.
The woman you loathed?
The woman who spiked my golden hot coffee, Dolly Hawthorne. Good old Mia. She never did let me down. She got her revenge before she checked out. In the end, there wasn't anyone waiting for me when I woke up.
That's so sad.
For someone like me, for someone who slept their best days away, there were only 2 reasons left to live. And it was those 2 reasons I decided to become a prosecutor. Oh, no, my stream... Oh, I am buffering. I'm not downloading anything. Why is it buffering? Help! Help! Not at the crucial moment. I'm in the red.
Twitch! Damn you, Twitch!
On my other internet, it's fine. Internet. Everything's working? Yeah, everything's working. It's not me! My internet's perfectly fine. This is a really unfortunate time. We're gonna have to just go along with it, guys. I'm sorry. There's nothing I can do. My internet seems to be fine. I thought for sure it was gonna fuck up when, Wukong was downloading. But that's all done. So, I don't know. It was perfectly green during that. So, the only thing I could probably guess is one of my family members might be doing something crazy up there. I don't know. But I have like a separate internet modem, so I don't know. I'm sorry, guys. We're just gonna have to go through with this. I think it'll be fine on the VOD. So sorry, VOD frogs, if you got this far. Like if I fix the internet right now, I might have to just restart everything. I could do that. Would you guys prefer that? Oh my god, you guys, such a long delay. We could just split this, but the next part's gonna be incredibly short because we're basically at the end. So I don't know if we should.
If anyone could hear me, answer.
What would you prefer? I don't know. I don't really mind. Of course, it had to happen right now. Now the chat's not working. Oh. Why? Alright, I guess I'll just keep going. It was for those 2 reasons I decided to become a prosecutor. If I may ask, what were your 2